The live stream goes straight to the YouTube link. Oh, hi. How are you? Right. Is this yours? Yeah. That's my phone. That's my phone. Hey, nice. Yeah, it's on.
And we're live. You get the record? We're recording here and we're live streaming. I'm gonna pop out the other room. Let me know when I finish up. I'll pack up.
Perfect. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, Mayor. How you feeling? Heather.
Hi, how are you?
Mayor, we're live.
I'll give it to you tonight.
Hey, Johnson, how are you? Thank you. You have everybody?
Sorry about this setup. I don't even know half of it. No, luckily I'm not. I'm a free man. I'm a free man.
Beautiful age. They're an old man.
They are after public presentations. So like yeah. But after we're done swearing in the officers, just ask for a 5-minute recess so they can leave.
We don't have to close this out.
No closed session.
Thank you.
We don't have a closed session. We don't have a closed session.
No, nobody told me that. I don't think there's a need for it.
Right.
Do you want me to go down there? Do you want me to go down on the floor?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Pass me that folder over there. I kept the packet one here for me. It's too big. Yeah. The big agenda is this. There's everything there. But this is for you to follow. I think we're ready. Okay.
See, I didn't give you that.
Is it 6:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Englewood Police Mayor and Council. Today is June 19th, 2025. Time is exactly 6:30. I call this meeting to order. Okay. Please all stand for the flag salute. Please all stand up, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
This meeting was called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. Notice of this meeting was included in a notice sent to the Star Ledger, the Record, on June 6, 2025, and published on June 11, 2025, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and has remained continuously posted as the required notices under the statute. Copies of the above mentioned notice are available to the public and on file in the office of the municipal clerk.
Thank you, PA. Thank you, PA. And please, roll call, please.
Mayor Park. Mayor Park.
Here.
Councilwoman Jamone. Councilwoman Jamone. Councilman Luciano. Councilman Luciano. Councilwoman Begats.
Yes.
Councilman Liang. Councilman Liang. Councilman Patel. Councilman Patel.
Yes.
Councilman Katrubis. Councilman Katrubis.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you all. And the next item is each department head report. Okay, why don't we start BA first, then for attorney, finance, tax, police, fire. Okay, BA first.
Okay. Good evening, members of the mayor and council. Good evening to the members of the public. Thank you for joining us for the June 19th regular meeting. My name is Deshaun Chowdhury. I had started serving here for the borough of Englewood Cliffs about a month ago, and we had quite the busy month. I just came back from Arlington, Virginia, where I was proudly representing the borough of Englewood Cliffs in the state of New Jersey as a keynote speaker at the State of GovTech conference. And I say this because I wanted to transition into some of the items that you might see on the agenda today. We have been working on setting out a plan forth to be a two-click municipality. What does that mean? The municipality is working on addressing some of the things from overhauling our website to overhauling features that can enable residents and visitors of our community to access information in 2 clicks or less through an AI search and chat and voice feature. We are also going to be rolling out a new mass notification system subject to approval of the mayor and council this evening for mass text, email, voice, and email updates to the community and centralizing everything. And everything that we've done, we are experiencing, we're looking for opportunities for significant cost savings along the way with existing vendors when we audit our third-party vendors. We've also taken a part of having a meeting with LG. LG has worked closely with us tonight. You'll see on your agenda packets that, and the public copies are available in the front. We have an MOU up for a vote for a memorandum of understanding to work closely on smart city solutions with LG, who is headquartered right here in Englewood Cliffs. We had multiple meetings with them, and the work will begin on addressing things at our park. Moreover, we also met with Samsung, who's moving into town sometime in the fall. There will be a walkthrough with the mayor and council sometime in the summer, and we also talked to them as for an opportunity to address some of the things that our community might need in order to get involved. We're also doing a competitive contracting on this agenda this evening for a telecom consultant. As you may recall, mayor and council, the FCC rolled out regulations for 5G deployment, small wireless facilities. So we're preparing ourselves to control the process and offer an opportunity to offer municipal services along the way. What we're doing has not been done before in the state of New Jersey, and it's starting here in Englewood Cliffs because we believe in being the Gold Coast and being what is labeled as Silicon Cliffs, embracing technology and innovation. So it starts at Borough Hall, improving our workflow and efficiencies, and that's where we're going to go. I did want to transition into something else as well to bring to the attention of the mayor and council. This meeting is currently being live streamed right now on YouTube, and it's currently here recording on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. And I did want to address something very important. We had a walkthrough with BIS Digital and our IT vendor, and I want our chief of police and our municipal attorney to listen carefully and closely because this matter, we had a walkthrough, and then I have grave concerns for the municipality.
Right now, we had
severe technical issues in the courtroom, and that's what delayed us to have in-person meetings. And I'm going to read an email here from BIS Digital from when we had our walkthrough on Monday, and I'm asking the governing body to take this matter very seriously, as I'm gravely concerned about the security. This is from BIS Digital in an email. Good morning, Intishan. Here are my walkthrough notes. We walked through again with BIS Digital, who's in charge and has managed multiple municipalities, as well as our IT vendors. My technician, Javier, and I met with Intishan, Matt, and Gary from Ocean IT on June 16, 2025, for a walkthrough of the council room. The purpose of the meeting was to determine the best way forward to modernize the audio, video, and recording equipment in the room. I've been in this room many times over the years, as Englewood Cliffs has been a customer of BIS Digital and Gramco before it, for recording and audio needs for well over 10 years. Since 2022, I have submitted several proposals to upgrade the room, but unfortunately, most of what I suggested to do were either done in-house, do-it-yourself style, or by other vendors. What you hear now in the courtroom is the result. The sound in the room is tiny and hollow, and this can be a result of the mixer that was put in or the speakers. The mixer in Allen & Health is a high-end digital mixer, but the wrong type of mixer for this setting. Allen & Health mixers are best suited for mixing musical instruments in a studio. I've been in several hundred council rooms in New Jersey, and this is the only time I have ever seen that mixer being used in this setting. According to Javier, the speakers in that room may be utilizing different signals, OHMS and volts, possibly contributing to the sound issues. Lastly, the camera installed has a connection issue and isn't fully compatible with Liberty DCR recording software you use to record the meetings. I'll stop right here to say, the municipality with that camera, nobody has access to. Nobody has access. I know that there was permissions granted for previous YouTube channels from previous folks, but there still remains to be unverified folks that are holding that YouTube channel. But that camera right now, we don't know who has access in terms of the security issue, and I'm asking the chief of police and the municipal attorney, with the support of the mayor and council, to look into this issue. But I'll continue to read this email. There have been many service calls placed by BIS Digital for the issues with the camera not connecting for meetings. I'm currently working on a comprehensive proposal for your review. As always, I appreciate the opportunity to do business with Englewood Cliffs. BIS Digital manages and services many municipalities in this state, including down the hill in the city of Englewood. What is going on, especially with the camera, I'm deeply, gravely concerned. I don't know who has access to this room or what the backup is, but there are solutions in place. I'm asking once again to the mayor and council to look into this matter. I'll proceed with the rest of my report, as I do have a few more updates to provide to the community and to the mayor and council. We also, as far as road resurfacing updates, Bergen County, through our partnership with Bergen County, they resurfaced Palisades Avenue, that is from Clifton to Summit. That also included parts of Englewood City that has been concluded and finished. PSC&G Phase 2 restoration is ongoing. We had a temporary halt or stop of work because we had some issues that we needed to resolve along the way in some parts of our areas that are experiencing some flooding. So we had some concerns. PSC&G is addressing them. We're working closely with them on that as well. Moreover, the borough's road resurfacing project and our capital improvement plan, we're working closely with our CFO and as well as the DPW superintendent and our borough engineer. We anticipate doing that sometime this year. It will begin with a bond appropriation to be presented before the council. Moreover, I am pleased to inform members of the community that Charlotte Place will be resurfaced in 2026 by PSC&G. This is after numerous discussions with them and ongoing gas service replacements that they're doing. They're going to do it after they complete their substation improvements in 2026. Just for stats purposes, with all of this going on, we have over 6 miles of lane miles that are scheduled or have been resurfaced, and that's
3.4 square miles community. That's a testament to the mayor and council's approach to take infrastructure issues very seriously, and it should be well commended. On another note, as far as our sanitary sewer lines, we have news from Senator Andy Kim's office. I circulated this to the members of the governing body. The Borough of Englewood Cliffs has moved on with our $3 million appropriation to the Appropriation Committee. That is a significant news. Now the Appropriation Committee at the United States Congress is talking about this. They'll talk about the numbers, they'll look it over a little bit further, and then they'll present the project forward to the both houses for a vote, and then the president will sign the spending bill into office. A lot can happen between now and then, which is why it's so important that this evening tonight there's an agenda item for the council to consider for the sanitary sewer proposals for data collection, engineering, design, and as well as the creation of the bid specifications. So we're trying to move everything parallel, and that is what I consider a parting gift from our outgoing administrator Jerry Barbera and our grant writers who worked very hard on that project. As I stated before, I'm working on a five-year capital improvement plan, which includes this courtroom, the police department, Borough Hall. We haven't done something like this before. We're working on this with our CFO, DPW, and our borough engineers to present a plan forward. It's subject to change. And at some point, like I said before, this year, we are gonna, for this year, we have about $2 million in this budget that we will be introducing tonight that's set aside for capital improvements, which include roads and various capital improvements. We'll go through our procurement routes that we need to go through, and we'll do the purchasing through Riverside Co-op once we're ready. The administration has restored department head meetings that are held twice a month. In addition, we just had our primary election. We thank all of our partners, the school district, our police department, our DPW, all the poll workers. I'm pleased to report to the mayor and council that in terms of inside baseball here a little bit, that our primary day election operations actually ranked among the highest for Bergen County, and that's a testament to the efficiency of our poll workers and our super poll workers. And we had a lot of changes here in personnel, but to have a 3 days notice and to turn things around and have that kind of support from Bergen County and that kind of remarks and feedback is a testament to the leadership of the mayor and council. Moreover, we're working on the punch-out list for Johnson Park. As you know, we unveiled the park about a month ago. It's $4 million improvements. I'm working closely with DPW on addressing that, as well as some improvements to Veterans Park. Our audit for the 2024 calendar year is underway, and we're working closely with our CFO to addressing some of these needs. Speaking of audit, we're in the midst of auditing all third-party vendors. All third-party vendors we're addressing in order to improve efficiency. And just for context purposes, a vendor, for instance, like desk phones, we did a cost analysis. The municipality can experience $70,000 in savings over the course of 36 months. So that's the kind of approach that we're taking. We're also working on establishing new internal controls, new onboarding process, and working closely with the JIF and MEL to begin updating our employee handbook, policies and procedures to be presented to the council sometime this year. I know there was efforts to do this a couple years ago, but there was some ongoing attorney-client privilege litigation that we had to address, and the employee handbook has not been updated since 2018. This mayor and council is now taking the measures to work with our JIF to address that. Lastly, I'll also talk about decorum when dealing with municipal staff. It has come to my attention that we received some feedback from some members of our municipal employees. The municipal staff here, we're a quite small operation. We're doing the very best that we can to serve the public. We proudly serve the borough of Englewood Cliffs. There is a transitional period going on right now, so we appreciate everyone's cooperation and helpful assistance and guidance to this community. But I ask everyone to please, as we try to respond to your many needs, to work with us, to be a little bit patient with our staff, because they're doing the best they can. But what is not acceptable is when there's behavior that's kind of dehumanizing in a way. We're serving and we're proud to serve the taxpayers, but we ask for a little bit of courteous and respect from the community as we try to deal with you and your wishes. With that being said, Mayor, that is the extent of my report.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
So right now we are okay. We are a little bit new appointing police family we're here, so we're going to do a little bit switch about our agenda. First we're going to do the appoint new police officer first, then we're going to go back and police chief, why don't you come out and we're going to talk.
Order of business, section 8.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I need a motion.
I make a motion.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Yes. Okay. Chief, please come out. Chief, please come out.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Chief of the Police Department for the last 6 years. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. Before we swear in the new officers, I just want to thank the entire governing body, Mayor Park, former Administrator Barbario, for starting the process, current Administrator Chowdhury for pushing it across the finish line. Thank you all for your support and listening to my professional opinion on the needs of the department. We're going to be undergoing some changes over the next 3 months, I expect, and we also have a growing community here in Englewood. We have some housing coming to town. So I truly mean it when I say I give you all credit for having the vision and foresight to do some hiring now and be prepared for the future. Being proactive rather than reactive is really refreshing, and I appreciate all of you for that. Like I said, before I bring them out, I just want to tell you a little bit about our hiring process. And this is for the family and friends of our new hires. We have one of the most expensive hiring processes around. We follow it stringently to maintain our accredited status. It starts with each candidate paying $125 of their own money out of their pocket to even participate. And we do that because it tells us that they're genuine and sincere in wanting to law enforcement, being here at Englewood. Then they're exposed to a multiple hour written examination, which is very difficult. Top 30 people that score on the entrance exam are invited to participate in a physical examination, which is very competitive, done by a third party. Mile-and-a-half run, push-ups, sit-ups, all that good stuff. From there, the top 20 are invited to an informal interview where we get a feel for their personalities and their temperaments, make sure they're going to work with us and what we do here. After that, it's down to the top 10, where they're exposed to a really rigorous interview process. Councilwoman Bagatz was here and participated in that process. I think she'll tell you it's very intense. About 6 or 7 of us sit up here on this dais, and we put a single chair right in the middle of the room, and we fire questions after these young men and women. And the reason I share that with you is just so you all understand that they really earn this job. They perform really, really well, and you should all be really proud of them for distinguishing themselves from a really large group of candidates. We pride ourselves, and I mean it when I say it, I believe we hire the best of the best. And this is the best town in Bergen County, and I think we're the best police department in Bergen County. And it starts with the men and women that we hire here today. Thank you for listening, and with that, we'll bring out our first candidate.
Can I say a few words?
Sure, certainly.
First of all, I was part of the interview, and I was really, really impressed with all the candidates, but those 3 are the best. So I want to thank the Finance Committee, working with the Safety Committee, to Utu and our Finance CFO, to put hiring the 3 cops. I think it's the first time that Englewood Cliffs is hiring 3 cops in one time. We all were sensitive to our community needs,
And we did our
and we
best.
did our best, and
I'm very happy.
I'm very happy that we got to this point. And thank you, Chief.
Thank you. And it's been an exciting week, so not only
Yes.
are we adding 3 new officers tonight, we had 1 other officer graduate from the police academy yesterday. He's standing in the back, William Rossi. Good luck to you, welcome, and congratulations.
Just a second. We want to pass
We're going to do you want to do the resolutions first?
resolution first, then you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Police Chief.
Thank you, Police Chief, and we're going to finish our resolution first, then we will get those, okay?
Okay, I need a
Okay, I need a resolution 25-102.
I need a motion.
I need a motion and the second to approve resolution 25-102, appointing Peter
Buhis
Buhis as a full-time police officer for the Englewood Cliffs Police Department.
Okay,
Okay, we need second.
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Okay, all in
Okay,
favor?
all in favor?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay, it's
Resolution
resolution passed 25-102, right? And then 25-103, resolution appointing Sean Lyon as a full-time police officer for the Englewood Cliffs Police Department.
I need a motion.
I need a motion and a second.
Who second?
Who second?
Okay, all in
Okay,
favor?
all in favor?
Okay, any
Okay,
discussion?
any discussion?
Okay,
Okay,
okay, motion.
okay, motion
Thank you.
passed, thank you.
And then
And then
motion 25.
motion 25-104, resolution appointing Sean Sullivan as a full-time police officer for the Englewood Cliffs Police Department. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
All in favor?
All in favor? Okay.
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
No. Okay,
No,
motion
okay, motion
passed. Okay.
passed, okay.
Our first candidate is Peter Voorhees. He comes to us from the Hackensack Police Department. He's a resident of Paramus, and as I explained, he did excellent on the process, so we're happy to have him, and the mayor will swear you in. Do you have somebody that you'd like to hold the Bible for?
I
Peter Voorhees,
solemnly swear that I will solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
And that I will bear true faith and that I will bear true
and
faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the government established in the United States
as the government established in the United States
and this state.
and this state,
Under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people.
I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of
all the duties of the office of patrol officer
according to my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
You have to sign first. Sean, you taking the signature?
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Before he signed it. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Our next candidate is Mr. Sean Lyon. Before getting hired here tonight, He works for a local company where he was a foreman with a privately owned business. He's also a volunteer fireman in Washington Township. And again, we're happy to have him and we're very lucky. We have somebody that...
Yeah, I'd like to serve. I, Sean Lyon, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the government established in the United States and this state, under the authority of the people. I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of patrol officer according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
You just sign the,
Yeah.
Sean, I just need you to sign the, Section 156.
Thank you.
Welcome to the team.
Thanks for signing.
Okay, our final candidate is Sean Sullivan. He's a recent graduate of Dominican College, where he not only excelled academically, but also on the athletic field in the sport of lacrosse. And again, we're very happy and lucky to have him.
I,
Sean Sullivan,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I would bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the government
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of
all the duties of the office of patrol officer
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. Just yours, make sure it's yours.
Picture. He needs to take a shot.
Take a picture with Mom and Dad.
Just make sure that you sign the right one, that's all.
Yeah, I got it.
Sully, smile. Should we get Peter and Sean out here?
Welcome.
Peter?
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Sean, congratulations. Very fine.
Wide angle.
All right, Councilman's blocking my face, thank God.
Beautiful.
You.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Mayor.
Okay, in the meantime, we're going to take a break 5 minutes.
We think I'm guess I'm on free.
Resolution, right? So you take that vote.
Yeah.
Take a second.
It's definitely
Then you
running
vote.
that most. I haven't had anything to drink.
You take the motion, and you take the second, and you have a discussion.
Danny's happy.
Okay. All right, so Mayor, go back now. You're gonna go back to the. Does he need anything to do to go back to the department reports?
And her first
You just asked for a motion to go back to the.
he's joining us.
To go back to the motion, to go back to
The agenda. Whatever the agenda has been written.
When are we going to put on voice cut?
They come up public hearing every time. No, doesn't come up public hearing.
You have to fix everything.
Everything has to be redone. Things like this.
I want to get all things to the 900 silver. Everything to 900 silver. Nice building, nice place. We have time to travel to Morocco. This place. Morocco. Did you go to Morocco? It's nice place. The grandparents are every time they love to go. Morocco is different.
No, that's why it wasn't advised.
They have What happens? It's like unique. It's unique. Morocco is not clean, more than Dubai, Abu Dhabi is like man-made architecture. Morocco is really nice. That made me late. I said, this is not something you... I said, I don't have time. England is good, right? The team is working great, right? With the budget good. Getting more.
Please, we feel more security. SSGM.
Okay, let's, okay. Okay. We'll go back to our normal agenda. I need a motion to back to our agenda. I need a motion. Anybody second? All in favor? All in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Second, for attorney, do you have any subject?
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Robert Ferraro. I'm the borough attorney. I'd like to report to you tonight about 2025 is an important year in terms of our affordable housing obligations. Earlier in the year, the Department of Community Affairs set the numbers for the board, for the borough to meet with regard to providing affordable housing in this, what's called the fourth round. In that regard, after the numbers were accepted by the Department of Community Affairs, the borough is obligated to prepare and to adopt a housing element and fair share plan that the county governing body has worked with Michael Mistretta from Harbor Consultants, and Mr. Mistretta did prepare the plan, which is on file with the clerk. It's available for inspection. Later this month, the planning board will meet to adopt the housing element and fair share plan, and I believe that is next Thursday. And then next Friday, I believe there will be a special meeting of the mayor and council, because the mayor and council must endorse the plan. All this must be done before the end of the month, as required by the legislation that's in effect. The only other item I want to report on is the request, or the question put to me by Councilwoman Tremonis regarding the certain bills for consultants which were paid. They were not paid out of an escrow. So there were two questions, I believe, between Councilwoman Tremonis and Councilman Luciano. One was why were they not paid out of an escrow? I can only tell you that I was not here when this occurred, but that there was not an escrow taken in that matter. Subsequently, these professionals had to get paid, as they are working on a number of items for the borough, and we could not have those professionals stop working. I've been in contact with the developer's attorney, and I'm working towards the repayment of these consulting fees. I've also spoken with Councilman Liang about ratifying the payments that went out, that were not on the bill list the last time, and worked with Councilman Liang and presented to him a proposed resolution to ratify those payments, which I believe Councilman Liang may ask to be made part of the agenda this evening. And that's what I have to report. Thank you.
Question is later on, you can do that. We have the items. Okay, so we can do that later on. Okay. We're gonna finish about this, okay? But we're gonna finish line by line this item first.
If the attorney's done, why can't we ask the questions right now of the attorney?
Okay, you can do that later on. Okay, we're gonna finish all these department head report first. Okay, finance department, do you have any agenda, or you wanna mention something?
Yes, Mayor. This evening we'll have two items on the agenda. One is the introduction of the municipal budget. The second resolution you have seen is a resolution authorizing estimated third quarter property tax billing. This is something we do regularly to avoid any delays in getting the tax collections in because of the delay in adopting the budget. The estimated tax bill resolution is based on the municipal levy that's in tonight's budget that's being introduced, the numbers that were provided to me by the school district, and an estimated number for the county, because those numbers were not finalized by the county, providing for a 2.5% increase on the county levy. The third item that I want to report on is, if you recall, last year around December, we settled the litigation with 800 Sullivan for the tax appeal and the judgment. We received approval from local finance board to raise it over 10 years and 5 years respectively. At that time, the borough only issued the short-term notes that expired, that were supposed to come due on May 28th to renew. and the borough participated in the county note pool program instead of issuing the notes on their own. So for the bigger piece, we joined the Bergen County Co-op for the note issuance, and for the tax appeal, which was a taxable note, we offered the note to Passaic County Water District, and they had previously purchased that note last year, and we renewed it with them. The interest rates that we received through the county was 4%, and on the taxable note that was for Passaic Valley Water is at 4.25%. Both of those notes have been renewed for 1 year, so they will come due next May.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Next, please, Mr. Hankman, would you come out and
Good evening, everybody. As I mentioned in my earlier remarks, it's been an exciting week for the police department. Again, I thank all of you for your support and consideration on the actions taken. A couple noteworthy events. Grand Fondo passed through town on May 18th. The annual bike race went well. The event concluded without any incidents. I just want to thank Lieutenant Ford for coordinating that event. I'd like to make note of action taken by one of my officers in off-duty capacity on June 13th. Lieutenant Nicholas Jerome was off-duty in Fort Lee at the Acme. He witnessed a motor vehicle pursuit coming through the parking lot in which Fort Lee police were after a car occupied 2 times. The driver of that car crashed the vehicle into the Acme building, took off on foot. Most of the Fort Lee officers chased the driver. The passenger exited, and the only Fort Lee officer left was a female officer who actually was brand new. She gave chase, and Lieutenant Jerome actually ran down the second suspect and assisted the Fort Lee officer in taking him into custody. Turns out they were both in possession of a stolen vehicle, which is why they were running. So great job. My officers do great work every day, but I just have to make special note of that action in off-duty capacity. So 2 more bad guys off the street. The National No Kings, so-called No Kings Day. There were a couple events in Bergen County. Thank God everything was uneventful and none of our officers were called for mutual aid to any of nearby towns. A little quiet on the traffic front currently. In terms of community outreach, it's been a very busy month since our last meeting. A couple things I'm really proud of. We completed the 70th annual Fred Whitty Baseball Clinic on May 17th. It was another great year. I have to thank the program coordinators, Lieutenant Jermones and Officer Jacob. Great work coordinating that event. Our Special Olympics torch run was on June 6th. Brand new Administrator Chowdhury was out there with the Borough Hall staff cheering on, I think there was 4 of my officers who ran this year for Special Olympics charity. Great job by my officers participating in that, raising some awareness and some funds for Special Olympics, which we all know is a great cause. And thank you for allowing the staff to come out and cheer them on. So worthy plus. Looking forward to do it again next year, and I have to thank Sergeant Jay Lee for coordinating that. If any of you follow us on our social media platforms, you'll see that Officer Regan went to Washington, D.C. again this year from May 28th to the 30th. He escorted the 8th grade class on their annual trip to Washington, D.C. Great opportunity for students and our officer to come together and spend some meaningful time together on the class trip. So great job by Officer Regan volunteering for that assignment and leaving his family and heading down to Washington, D.C. Our 13th Junior Police Academy class is scheduled to begin on Monday, the 23rd, Mayor.
Yeah, okay, I know. Yeah.
I've invited Mayor Park to come on the first morning to welcome our cadets. This is going to be our largest Junior Police Academy ever. We have over 30 registrants. So it's going to be a challenging week for the kids, educational, but fun-filled. This is our most time-consuming, costly, and labor-intensive community outreach initiative, but it also happens to be our most rewarding. Again, this is a week where all of our officers get to spend some really meaningful time with the youth of our community and really making an impact on them. They're going to learn a lot. If we're lucky, we may even have an appearance by the New Jersey State Police helicopter, which is always a fan favorite for the kids. So keep an eye out for that later in the week. For that, I have to thank Lieutenant Tracy and Lieutenant Walt who coordinate that program. As I said, it is time intensive and labor intensive, and they do a great job with it. So I have to thank them publicly for all the work they do for that. Wrapping up here are 3 new police vehicles. Finally, we're accepted by our third-party vendor for the upfitting. Thank you again for your support on that. In the next coming weeks, you should see 3 brand new, shiny police cars out there on the road serving the community. And finally, we're still working on the LPAR initiative. Sergeant Lee is coordinating that. I believe, Mr. Attorney, is that Verizon agreement still under review by your office?
Yes.
Okay. Once that is done, we'll start the deconfliction and implementation of the LPAR program. That's our license for years. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Any question? No? No? No. No. After. Sorry. Okay, sorry about it. Okay. To him? To him? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Neighborhood Watch program, Chief? I don't know that ever got off the ground. I don't know that was ever adopted.
We adopted and we still. Yes, passed. Yes, passed.
Yeah, there are issues with that. That was something that was looked into. It's not as simple as just getting some volunteers and putting them in a car. There's some liability issues. There's also some training requirements because technically it falls under the police department. Being that we're accredited, there would be some mandatory training by those people. So it's not as simple as it looks.
Somebody just pointed out before the resolution, I'm just wondering why that didn't come out before.
That is brought in myself. That proposal brought in myself, and we're going to set up it. But we at the time Jerry and police chief discuss about actually how we're going to implement those kind of procedures. That is very complicated. We're going to keep continue to discuss about. Okay.
I think it was a great idea. I mean, a lot of communities do have it. I'm not sure that it's the right fit for us. And like the mayor said, Jerry and I, after it was presented by the mayor, Jerry and I did a little bit of digging on some more information. I had no experience with it. We've never had it here before. So I was kind of learning as I went with Jerry, and some of the things were discovered after the idea was actually started.
Okay. We're going to look at.
Let's move forward, please.
Okay, you go ahead. Okay, you go ahead. Okay, you do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next fire department. Okay. Come out. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening. Okay, good evening.
In the past month, the fire department, we've had multiple responses on the Saturday note to the Palisades Interstate Parkway, our high-angle rescue team, over the course of 3 events in the last 30, 40 days, has had to respond to both Alpine as well as Rockefeller Lookout and Englewood Cliffs for extensive multi-hour recoveries, unfortunately, of people who decided to jump. I'm proud of our high-angle rescue team. We're a small department, but we have a large number of trained technicians that do extremely dangerous work, especially operating on the cliffs at all hours of the night, all hours of the day. Unfortunately, it seems like it's at night in the rain, but you know, we are there. Related to that, on the agenda item is we did secure a little bit of money from the Bergen County 200 Club. It was a shot-in-the-dark application, but, you know, we did it. We got, you know, approximately $3,500 from it, which, not a lot, but it's something that we're proud of. Further in line with one of our priorities this year, continuing with last year, is the application of grants. We had several meetings with Millennium Consultant, that's our grant writers, very productive in terms of allocating grants for the fire service. We're in the process of putting together several $100,000 grant for member recruitment and PPE. Among them is, and this the governing body may find interesting, is one of the funding priorities this year is a digital sign, similar to, you know, what was on Hudson Terrace. And if approved for this grant, the federal government would cover the entire cost of it. I've spoken with the president of the fire company, who is receptive to this, since based on the lease agreement the borough has with the fire company for the fire department property, you know, anything would need to go through them, of course. But this does give an opportunity to, with relatively little to no money, get this digital sign as part of maybe a broader rehabilitation plan for the fire department property itself. You know, Mark Neville is here. He had been in contact with the fire company leadership to discuss that. Other things that we've already put to use is we have several tens of thousands of dollars worth of new all-band digital radios that have been put into service. These are vital pieces of communications equipment that allow us to operate with neighboring towns, mutual partners, as well as the county. So we're glad, and thank you again with the mayor and council for approving that funding. It was very well needed. And that is basically, one last grant initiative is last year, as part of capital ordinance, approximately $35,000 was allocated for HVAC improvements to the fire department building. With our grant writers, we discovered that there's a PSE&G matching program in which for every PSE&G will cover 70% of the cost of the installation. So if it's $30,000, you could conceivably have $100,000 in spending money, and that also includes energy efficiency upgrades such as lighting, heating, air conditioning. So we're in the process of putting together a proposal with PSE&G Business Development to see what they can do to stretch that $35,000 in grant money, you know, and make it go a lot further for the borough. And if there are any questions, I can.
Okay, thank you for your hard working always. And next, you want to read about OEM?
Yeah.
Our BA going to add on. Police Department OEM department is going to add on.
Yep.
So why don't you?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening once again to the Mayor and Council and members of the public. I'll be relatively quick. Lieutenant Tracy, our Deputy OEM Coordinator, supplied me a written report, a quarterly report for the Office of Emergency Management, which I will circulate to the members of the governing body. Basically, it outlines local concerns that our EOP is Emergency Operational Procedures is up for renewal in 2026. So the OEM team has been working on this right away with Bergen County OEM looking into improving our hazard mitigation plan. They're circulating this right now to improve it. The Deputy OEM Coordinator did talk about the current emergency notification system is operational,
and how the process was and what it currently does. That's Nixle right now that we have, which obviously it's become extremely costly, and it doesn't do as much as what we're going to be doing in the future. That's subject to approval to the mayor by the mayor and council, as I alluded to in my previous report. Then the WOEM coordinator outlined county and state level concerns. They've attended several meetings with the county and state OEM regarding the FIFA World Cup. As you know, that's coming in 2026, and they're preparing as New Jersey is going to be a major thoroughfare for such events that are taking place. In fact, the FIFA Club World Cup is also taking place as well. So expect a lot of folks to come around this area a little bit, and our Office of Emergency Management, our police department wanted to be prepared for that. And the federal concerns was the potential elimination of FEMA. The OEM team outlined their concerns in terms of the resources that we benefit from as a community from FEMA, such as grant funding, the emergency management capabilities, disaster preparedness and post-disaster recovery resources. Municipalities like Englewood, Cliffs, like I said before, relies on the support of FEMA during situations like Tropical Storm Ophelia last August, and it's going to create some burden for our municipality in terms of financial and operational responsibilities. So our OEM coordinator wanted to report on that as well. But like I said before, in the interest of time, I will circulate all of this at the conclusion of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, coordinator. Okay, James Tracy, you want to answer it? Okay, why don't you come here? And they have a question?
I heard yesterday from Jeff that there was either a claim or a lawsuit filed with I think it was 28 vehicles damaged during one of the storms. I've heard nothing other than any council meeting or any emails, or are we aware of an email you're going to be just coordinator, I believe, tonight? Does anybody, I don't see necessarily are we aware of a GIF claim of 28 cars that were damaged during the storm? What's the status of that? Is that a lawsuit? Is that just a claim? Does it go with FEMA? I mean, I'm just trying to get an understanding.
Yeah, go ahead. If you
there are county-wide totals. I've heard the number 28 county-wide municipal and city losses. So you might be talking DPW plus fire cars plus ambulances.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is a specific claim from JIF yesterday, which reported that it was not government, it was either a lawsuit or claims made to JIF, specifically made to Englewood Cliffs, 28 private vehicles that were damaged during the storm. I just want to understand if this is something that we're aware of. Was there a claim? And can you fill us in?
I'll just quickly say, Councilman, I have not attended any JIF meetings because I have not been appointed as JIF Fund Commissioner. I hope the council considers me as part of my duties as Borough Administrator. I can ask Amy Peroni. I believe so. I can get that information to you.
I don't mean it disrespectfully to you, but if we're paying him and you, the administrator, I think that we shouldn't have to investigate this. It came out yesterday in jail. Whether our attorney or our administrator or our finance chair or our CFO or our mayor or somebody would have some information about a claim that could potentially be hundreds of thousands of
Councilman, I will look into that matter for you, but in the interest of time, I understand the mayor wants to move on with the agenda.
Sir, we have a meeting one time, we don't have any communication between meetings. I don't want to hear from Councilman Begats, let's move on.
I understand. Councilman, I understand.
Okay, don't have an answer.
Is that I want to understand why we don't have this information.
Councilman, I will get the information out to the entire governing body like I have when I don't know it.
Yeah, why don't you find out yourself?
Please stop, everybody.
I have a different question about Burlington Places. 2 months ago, we sat in a presentation and we agreed we were taking Nick's. All of a sudden now on the agenda, we're going with GoGo. Has this been discussed with them? Has it been discussed with the police? How do we decide that we're automatically just changing without?
We had a meeting with the police department, and we had a meeting with other municipal staff members. For context purposes, OEM, I asked the police department to pass the information along to them. But like I said, what I will say is the proposal. If you look at it, and if you heard a little bit earlier in my report, the Nixle total cost $5,000, and we've been sending text blast updates. Now, what I will say, GoGov, which is a custom branded mobile app that connects with our municipal services and our overhaul with our website services, with mass SMS, voice, and everything, is in total $4,500. Now, Councilwoman, I understand that the fiscal responsibility is a major concern of the governing body, and that's what's part of the third-party auditing. Over the course of 3, to do one or two things, Nixle's $5,000 a year, which is a lot. Like just mass text, they're known for mass text. In terms of GIS, hits, and there's a lot of other things that we can do with this. We're paying far less for getting more services. Yeah, sure. There's right now, GoGov is used by City of Englewood. It is used by the Borough of Prospect Park. It is used by multiple municipalities in Passaic and Bergen County. I don't have the full list, but I can get that to you as well.
I just think that it would have been nice to speak to Lieutenant Tracy about the situation. He is OEM, and that's who we met with when we decided, all of us, that we were going with Nixle. Thank you.
And the discussions that we've had, this is the problem that I've always had. We're going to vote on it tonight, but you're going to get us the information after tonight.
I provided the service order, and I provided the quote sheet in advance, and it was on the agenda item on Friday, Councilman.
Again, we're finding out that you didn't even speak to
I had my meeting. If OEM falls under, OEM also falls under.
So there's probably confusion because you're fairly new at it. OEM is not part of the police department. There was very clear stipulations when I took this role that it has to be separate because of an issue that happened with the councilwoman, which I won't get into. So we agreed that this would be completely separate, so there was none of this. This has nothing to do with the police department. I've said that every report I give, every meeting we have. I start off with, I'm not speaking on behalf of the police department, I'm not speaking as a police officer, I'm speaking as your deputy coordinator of OEM. So that has to be clear, because that's an issue for me. And if you want information on Nixle, I did give the presentation. I told you can do as much with it as you want. I will use whatever program you tell me to. If you're the bosses, I get it. Nixle can do texting, it can do phone calls, it can do letters, it can do whatever you want it to do.
Are you happy with Nixle?
I'm happy with it. I'll be happy with GoGov too. I mean, to me, they will pretty much do the same thing, so.
Okay.
Can you please explain the value of why you're going with GoGov as opposed to Nixle?
Sure. So in my conversations with Nixle and with surrounding municipalities, there have been some issues that have come up with Nixle. I was aware that we use Nixle and we use Constant Contact, and we're centralizing everything into one area that mirrors what we're trying to do on our website as landing pages. So it's all centralized. So bringing this third-party vendor GoGov, which comes with it a custom branded mobile app that will also offer numerous landing pages and links for our community to benefit from, but also will have the notification systems that we needed to have. It doesn't do, even though they say they have certain things, it's not to the capacity that might meet our needs and what we need to do, especially regular, for instance, when you have like Tropical Storm Ophelia, there's readily available messages and things of that nature that can come straight from federal sources. I did also hear from my contacts in other municipalities that they were also experiencing some issues. I'm not saying that this is nothing against the work that Lieutenant Tracy has been making the most of and working with what he has, but we've done our research and we're just centralizing everything and putting it with the custom branded mobile app. So again, we're getting more and we're paying less.
So, I'm sorry, Detective Tracy, one more thing. I think what we're not making clear is, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is to my understanding, that with this new service, you have the ability to send mass messages from various departments, as opposed to being just with the constraints with Nixle, is it called? You can only do OEM. Now you can do borough-wide, other departments.
There would be additional costs for usage for additional users and things of that nature. Now we have unlimited users. Anybody can have, Lieutenant Tracy can have his own account and do, OEM can do their own thing under GoGov and everybody, but we're paying that holistic price and we're locked in. We would be locked in for 3 years for $4,500 a year.
Okay, Doc.
It's not a lot of money either service, they're fairly reasonable for the value you get. For all these things, you're talking under $6,000-7,000. If that's something you're thinking of doing now, we would just say keep both of them maybe to the end of the year. It's not a huge expense, and maybe by the end of the year, you find one is more targeted towards what we need. The weather alerts, I did discuss that at the presentation. I found them to be too much. I can set that up in Nixle too, that whenever the National Weather Service issues an alert for this area, for this zip code, it'll automatically be sent out. I don't have to do anything, nobody has to do it. Once they do it, it's part of Nixle, it's part of GoGov. That is just the thing. We found that to be, we discussed it, too much. I live in Edgewater, I signed up for it. Every time there's a windstorm, smoke from Canada, I get 6 of them a day, it's just too annoying. I'd rather screen the alerts and then manually put them out rather than firing them out to the residents 4 or 5 a day. Because then when you have a true emergency and you need to get it out, people aren't listening. It becomes static, it becomes noise. You get 5 or 6 a day, nobody's looking at it. Then when you have the big emergency and you want them to look and listen, they're not paying attention to it anymore. We went over all that. But again, I'll use whatever you decide. And if it's something you're thinking of subscribing to now, we already paid for Nixle at the end of the year. I'm not sure if you get back or not. Maybe you do, but if not, use both.
Yeah, GoGov said that they're willing to also, if they're approved, that basically the contract wouldn't start until the top of the year. So the Nixle contract could run out, like run through the year, and we could continue to use it, but the transition would be, so you get to play with both.
There'll be a transition period.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next, building department, would you come out? Good evening.
As I'll say, we have a very busy building department. At this point now, since the first of the year, we have approximately 27 homes going up, 14 to 15 major renovations. We have commercial projects, well, commercial and multifamily, starting with 800 Sylvan. We just replaced all the trees. Our arborists had given us a number of trees that needed to be replaced, which they were put in prematurely because we didn't want to leave it bare under construction. There's no irrigation, so if something happens to them again, they'll be replaced. As far as commercial, the 800 Sylvan, about 30% of the townhouses or structures are up. Some of them are already finishing the models. Multifamily building is about 30% structure is up. We have about 5 major renovations going on in northern Sylvan Avenue. Samsung could be one, which is the old Unilever, CNBC. I know we're working right now on 900, the Englewood Health, and I know there's another project that's going to be coming up very soon. Just to touch on the community center, they're doing the parking lot at the community center right now, and I believe we've worked it out to eliminate the steps, which will give us a handicap ramp at no cost, which is good. I mean, we weren't required to have it by law because we didn't do much work on the building, but we were lucky we were going to be able to get this for the seniors to go into the building. The project next door is on Hudson Terrace, the affordable housing, hit a couple of, it's a little behind schedule. We're going to be having meetings this week, and I believe they're shooting for the end of the year, December. Some TCOs before that, I think in approximately a month or so. Also, the borough welcomed 2 high school students as interims to work in the borough with the school, from Northern Valley School. It was a work-related
work-based learning experience. They help in assisting in office organization, stocking office supplies. They assisted. We're turning into a paperless office. So, you know, we're trying to be scanning everything, all our paper. Very soon we won't be taking paper plans. Everything will be PDF. We're loosening up some room. And hopefully we will turn into Oprahs where we can have everything scanned in, which will save a lot of time. Where people will be able to reach out for Oprahs online and not very time consuming. Especially, you know, we only have two women in our office. And with the projects that we have going on, we're very busy. I think that's about it. I'm going to save something.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
What was the major delay with our project?
Which one?
The one you said next door. You said it's under, yes, so it's my understanding that by August, they have to have a certain number of signed agreed upon leases. You're saying now it's not going to go until the end of the year possibly. This is maybe a question for our attorney, maybe our administrator.
I might have not explained it exactly. I think it goes in two phases. First phase, they need a TCO. They call it head on a pillow, which I think is supposed to be in July, which we're getting close to. We're very close. The problems they have with some of the utilities, which the utility companies are very difficult to work with. The rest of the project, I believe, shouldn't be a problem for December. I mean, I believe they're a little behind. I would like to see them move further, but it's means and methods. I can't dictate how they're going to do it, although we do have an interest in the project.
You have a big interest.
Yeah, since
And if they lose funding, because my understanding, once again, if they don't have a certain number of agreed upon leases, what was explained to me by August, there's a good chance they might lose financing. You know, it picks up the difference between the financing. If the financing goes down the crack, we're responsible for it. And that could be from 2 million to multi-million. So I think it's something now that it's almost July, this council and this administration should possibly take and listen up closely and try to find out what's going on, because I don't want to find out in December that we have an additional $2 million exposure because we didn't meet our deadlines in July.
I believe we're working on that.
There's nothing towards you, sir. I think it's all of us collectively. It's something that we need to all be aware of. I mean, this is something that we've been aware of for a long time now. And to be July and to hear this from you, and no disrespect, I mean, come from you instead of coming from our attorneys, or that's a serious issue to me that could give us a very big exposure.
I believe they're on schedule. I think that this fall.
Yeah, okay, that else.
I just want to express my feeling on it. Traffic on Floyd. I know it's coming, it's going to be out, but is there any way possible we could talk to the owner and ask that the construction vehicles don't enter from Floyd? I mean, I see them in the morning coming in from 9W, but, I mean, I'm surprised no one's raised this issue before with school going on, because I've seen them there very early, parking on Floyd and entering an exit from there.
What we're trying to do, I'm trying to accelerate the project up there because school's getting out. And there's some townhouses and buildings that are going to be going up along Floyd. So I understand your concerns about it. I would like to get those buildings up as quick as possible.
So would I, but I see them coming out on the other side. And remind me again, no working on Sundays. It never happened in a while.
Very aggressive.
They were there on Sundays, and you know what, I don't want to get a call from someone who's there. I don't want to
wish
hear about
next
working on Sunday.
On Sundays.
Okay, thank you. Next, DPW? Mark Never. Green.
Real quick, just on a personal note, on behalf of myself, my sister, and my family, I'd like to thank everybody for the condolences and well wishes during the past month, my father last month. I received, and I appreciate some of the attendance from the council, as well as residents, and talking to them. Everything's been very, 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 very good. Thank you. Okay. Recycling. Our two recycling events are scheduled. Our first shredding event's coming up next Saturday, 28th, at DPW from 9 to 1. And our second one will be October 25th, same time, 9 to 1. What I did, that right now is that we have some good news regarding our recycling program, and that our new recycling bins are in. And they will be distributed to all residents starting next Saturday. We'll get them out to residency, 2 bins per household, and then they'll be available Monday, Friday from 10 to 2 at DPW, again, with residency, we'll distribute them that way. Long time coming, I thank everybody for their cooperation and partaking in the recycling program. It's moving along well. Council, our administrator mentioned our paving, our capital program will come out midsummer, and most of the capital is in place. Minor setback regarding, I'm actually, this is new information that I just received yesterday, 4 or 5 o'clock, and I spoke to the chief about 10 minutes ago. Unfortunately, I received a report from the county that they have to dig up Palisade.
What? Again?
Part of it.
Just finished.
You know, this is crazy.
That's the reason. They have significant stormwater damage, and they have to rectify it. And I think I haven't got the details beyond what's broken, what's clogged, what's,
Crazy.
too small, but they have to fix it. We had recent rains, and I contacted them, they came out right away, responded right away. And they have issues where our stormwater can't leave fast enough because of their stormwater. They did act on it, and they said it could happen in the next 2 weeks. So I'll talk to the chief and get a traffic plan together right now. Right now, it looks like it's between Clifton Terrace, Marjorie Terrace. It's on the whole length going down there, Englewood, but I have to look into the work. I'm sure they'll repave the road, start to finish.
I hope so. You will do.
They have to.
Really will happen.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
We're still using temporary help.
As well, we're just staffing our desk right now, so right now, we need that. As of, soon enough, we'll. Yes.
I see that, I see the, I just looked at the billers,
Yeah.
every week we have people on site, $800 a week or something on this. And I thought we're hiring people,
Right.
so
That's coming to an end.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Fire Recreation Department, would you? Okay. Okay.
Hi, I'm Dan Gieselman. I just wanted to thank everybody and let you know that it's an honor to serve in the community where I participated in the clinics with Brian Murphy, who was the police captain. We made a lot of friends, so I know what the community means to everybody. And as we go more into a modern world where the culture is transforming and some of the technology supports us being able to be much more efficient and much more effective with limited resources, and even have opportunities to bring more resources in, we have a vision for where we're going with recreation. It's a much broader vision of what recreation has been, and with all the people coming to town, we know where we're going. But on May 12th, I was given a piece of paper as the succession. So the goal is to have everything now work in a way that's much more efficient and effective moving forward. But the immediate thing is that we have summer camp, which is a huge part of the culture community of the town. It's based on the school, in the school, with teachers, and that had to be addressed immediately. The first priority was to make sure that everything was compliant. And I have a lot of respect for Marco and the people who did the work before, because creating something out of nothing is very difficult. And the natural next step is then to make everything much more compliant and make sure that we're legal in every single way. So the first thing was contacting the Department of Health, making sure we're registered as a camp. And that's all done. We're also doing everything according to the Youth Camp Safety Act. And that we do because we're working with the software that they have that's available to us. That means there's a learning curve on, getting up to speed on all this stuff. And I'm limited to 29 hours. So I apologize to the most important people, the people in the town, and haven't been able to get back in touch with you on a lot of things, and I may have gotten some things wrong. But the fact is that I'm trying to deal with the things that are our highest priority first, and when 29 hours happens, I'm turning off, because that's what the rule is, that's what we're doing. So we have 105 campers signed up. We didn't have any counselors. There were some floating pieces of paper that may or may not have been binding, but other than that, there was nothing organized. Now we have everybody signed up for the MSI, the counselors are signed up, and they know that they have to take all the tests. There was a delay in the fingerprints. The fingerprints should have been done long ago. There's a backlog on the fingerprints, but I'm in touch with the authorities so that we know, we can at least have a dialogue with the Department of Health and be able to, there's a backlog. What can we do? We have to do what we can do. And as long as they know what's going on, we have a good chance. We're trying to bring quality, variety, we're trying to modernize, we want things to be more transparent, and we want to be able to pool resources. There's a lot of resources that are available that, we have to find out about just because it hasn't been the tradition of the town, some things, but at this point, there's some great places where we can fill the gaps. We have to be compliant in everything we do, and we're trying to develop processes and requirements and making everything so that it's much more clear to everybody, whether they want to request a room, try to apply to do a class, or they have resources to bring to the party. So we're looking at everything in the broadest possible way. We're trying to service the people and the immediate needs that we have. I've made myself very available to the people. I often come to the field just to, try to meet with people and talk to them, see what's going on, because I don't know. And talking to them, I'm learning a lot. So it's been a very, very interesting time, and I'm happy to be able to give you guys the best that I've got, and we'll try to get to the next level.
Dan?
Yes, sir. I hope that you would.
I see a number of names that are on the list that were hired previously. I hope you're not telling me that there's people that worked last year that didn't go through the fingerprint process. And I work in the school system, and if people don't clear their fingerprints, they don't work. So I'm a little concerned to hear that, once again, we didn't do our due diligence, and we're behind in fingerprints, and we're going to hire people that haven't been fingerprinted, and God forbid something happens, or God forbid nothing happens, and you have parents who say, wait, you hired people that didn't clear the fingerprint process? It's very concerning to me. So first, there should be a number of people that have previously worked here that have been fingerprinted, and I hope you're telling me and confirming with me that those people haven't been fingerprinted. You're telling me that there's a backlog.
No, it's a different system. Even if they're fingerprinted as teachers, some of them are teachers that have been teachers in the community for a long time.
I understand they have to go back and go
Yeah, they have to go
through
through a process. It's a different system for the camp thing. They have to work, there's specific rules of each thing. You have to work consecutively at the camp, you have to have the fingerprints done. And I spoke, we had a large meeting with various recreation directors and the health department. So I spoke to them specifically about the issue. They told me who to be in touch with about it because they know it's a problem. You can't just get fingerprints like that. But they are teachers. There are a lot of teachers and there are a lot of people that have, obviously, everybody knows these counselors and they all know the kids. They've worked with them a long time. But we have to do things that are compliant, and we're just doing the best we can.
And he's doing the best.
The question is though, can they start? Are they telling you they can start without fingerprints and clearance?
Yes, but I need to document that. So
I would get that documented.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
I have 175 assistants working for me and not one can step in the building without clearance.
Yeah.
And I just had another question for you. If the children are on medication, and I know and they aren't able to dispense it themselves, who expensive.
We have something in the guidelines that knocks out exactly, its exact language about what it's supposed to be, and we checked that with the JIF. And so I wouldn't quote it to you off the top of my head, but there's specific language about what the parents are responsible for, what we're responsible for, and it's all in the packet, rules and regulations.
And there's people that will be EpiPen trained in the camp?
Well, what I'm saying is that it's, all the language is there. I have the EpiPen details, I have to check it, but I know that we have to have the health kits in the first aid. And I already got the health inspector to approve pending the fingerprints and all that, but I have the certificate. We went through everything that there was to go through 101. Some of the, open issues are just whether we need a booklet or whether we can still do it by PDF and modernize things, so.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Put in a lot of time.
Okay, thank you. And we have a really Saturday night movie? Okay, thank you.
I know you didn't want me to ask the attorney.
That's, I'm gonna do that, you can ask him.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Farr, I think the main question that I have is that you didn't answer the question. Because the question was put to you was, is the payment of someone's escrow that should have been put up, an applicant, if I come to put my house up in addition, I'm required by the land use law to put up escrow to pay for our professionals to review those plans. The question was, is it legal, one, that we pay them out of an account that was ordered by our CFO to pay out of a different account, okay? Clearly emails that you were on, and you happened to say earlier that it was before you were here. I have emails, sir, that you were on and included in the email that Ms. Councilwoman Gads makes reference to how we have to pay this to make brownie points. And I don't understand how you could sit here and say that you weren't here.
Let me answer that, because you have a couple of questions, and I want to make sure I get them all. How about I answer that one first, sir? Okay, well, I didn't say that I didn't know about the payment. What I said was, I wasn't here when the escrow obligations should have been set up, and I wasn't here when we directed our professionals to do the work for the review. That's what I said. I was not here for, sir. Okay, so I was here when the item was on the bill list. I looked into it. Councilwoman Tremonis asked me a question, then I looked into it, and I told you today what my opinion is. It's not illegal for it to be paid out of the general fund. It's better that it's paid out of an escrow, but in this case, there was no escrow. So I am working now to collect the money from the developer. That's all I can tell you.
The question is that, I guess the statement is, any other developer, any other resident, any other applicant that didn't put up their escrow fees, you know what happens? Their application stops. It doesn't get paid by the municipality so that they can get their approvals, and then we go, because they have finance issues, by the way, then we're gonna go collect the fees. I think it's totally inappropriate. And you know what? Whoever's here that owns property, I hope you guys come back and do the same thing. Okay? Because that's the precedent that this past practice that I constantly hear from everybody. What you've done is now you've exposed the borough to every applicant to say, hey, you know what? I don't have the money to pay my fees. Any other applicant would be prevented from moving forward. So the question that I would like answered, one, is we had the bills, first off, it was on the bill list that we discovered was already paid before it was even on the bill list. Right? Then we pull it from the bill list, and somehow, no one told us that it was already paid. We had council people sitting over there saying, oh, yeah, because you know why? Because they already knew it was paid.
That's not true.
I have emails. Councilman. Okay?
Hold on a second.
Please, people.
Matt.
I'm gonna say, I don't have the fees to pay, and I hope that the borough is going to pay the fees which are inappropriate, and I'm sure that we will find out whether it was legal, whether our attorney wants to advise us whether it was legal or not, because ratifying it doesn't change the process, that, you know what, I feel for his license, he's covered, because you know what he did? He put out an email and said, I'm being ordered to pay this engineering fund. Can't go after his license, because he was told to do it that way. He knows it's not right. That's why he put out the email. Okay? So I think it's totally irresponsible. I think it's totally disgusting to everybody that is paid and every resident in this town.
And it was done without council approval.
Are you finished with the grandstanding, Glenn, now?
Please, grandstand, and why aren't you
May I please continue?
something fire?
One by one, please. Okay, yes, you go ahead, please.
This is precisely the behavior we have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yes, every meeting.
Hold on a second, I'm not finished.
Every meeting, till 2 o'clock in the morning.
May I please finish?
Yes,
Please finish?
please, you first.
Police will be after
Okay,
me.
we have,
Police will be after me.
Yes.
Public commission, you can do that, please calm down, please. Please calm down. Please calm down.
On council, you don't do that.
No.
You don't do
Please
that.
calm down and you have your chance of public session, okay? Please.
may I continue, Mayor?
Yes.
So, look, it's this type of behavior that we're constantly having to deal with, and there's resignations from administrators because of Mr. Luciano's behavior.
Councilman, please.
Is it,
Mr. Luciano, you do not have a floor at this moment, okay? Please. I gave him your chance to do that, and then your session is already done, so please be quiet, okay?
There's a lot of things that are broken that we're trying to correct, and it takes time, okay? Case in point in the back.
With that being said,
we're trying to correct these things, and instead of just these constant attacks that, look, Mr. Luciano's behavior is very well documented. I don't know what else to say.
What's yours?
Yes, okay, Mr.
Ice cream rally.
Please, stop it, please.
We're trying to move forward with solutions. And instead, to those members of the public who are just showing up for the first time or don't really come often, this is all one big giant act. And the reality of the matter is, when things are severely broken and you try to fix them, things happen, okay? Nothing's happened that's nefarious, or mistakes happen. It happens all the time, and whether you own your own business, whether you're in your work life, it happens, and you pick up the pieces and you try to correct it, but to show up to meetings like this and pointing the finger at people, and I can assure you, if you pull Mr. Luciano's record, or even Mr. David DiGregorio's records, or anybody else's record, you'll see that it's chock full of zero solutions. Bring one thing to the table, please, that you've corrected for the borough, and I'll commend you for it.
Got a project next door going that you didn't want to move on.
It's not your floor, it's not your floor.
That you and your people.
Those are all
All stop it.
things that have been
Okay.
done by the mayor and his administration, okay? So stop it right
Okay,
now.
please stop all of them. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on. We don't have time. We have to stop it. Please. We're gonna turn you off, okay? Let's move on. Public hearing. I need a motion. Please stop it. Okay, please, stop it. Everybody stop it. Please,
I need a motion to open
for the public.
for the public hearing. I need a motion.
Public open.
Open.
For public hearing. Make a motion.
Second, all in favor?
Second, all in favor?
Okay,
Okay, and starting our public
comment?
comment. Okay, Mr. Lu,
Why don't you come
why
out
don't you come out and we have a very good news for our town,
and
and he's gonna bring a
idea
great
tonight.
idea tonight.
And
We have a 5-minute time limit, and
state your name
and address, please. Okay,
can raise up.
You can raise up. Okay, Mike.
You can take it out.
You can take it out.
Take it out.
Take it out. Yeah.
Just yell real loud. That's all.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jared Liu. I'm 17 years old, and I'm an Englewood Cliffs resident at 189 Chestnut Street. I'm here tonight because I'm a Boy Scout pursuing the Eagle Scout rank, and one of the requirements for that is the completion of an Eagle Scout project. The project is a service to the community, and I put together a couple of proposals for the town of Englewood Cliffs. My first proposal is the beautification of the Senior Citizen Center here in Englewood Cliffs. And to be more specific about that, it is the improvement of the landscaping as well as the recreational area on the outside of the facility. And the second proposal I have is the improvement of traffic safety in the proximity of the North Cliff School, pending the opening of the apartment complex on 800 Sylvan Avenue. And to be more specific about that, it would be the implementation of flashing crossing signs, as well as any other possible signage that is in the area. And another thing I would like to add is that one of the requirements for the project is I need to complete the fundraising for the project myself, and with the help of my fellow Boy Scouts of Troop 120, I'll complete the project. So I'd like to preface that I'm not requesting any financial assistance to my project from the town of Englewood Cliffs. I'm looking just for the approval to proceed with the endorsement of the town. Thank you for letting me introduce myself, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Soon we're going to get the resolution for you guys, and we're going to discuss with our VA, and we want to work together. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
My son Eagle as well.
Okay,
public comment, would you come out and state your name and address, please? Come out.
Okay, who's gonna first? Okay, come out first.
Yes, come out.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emma Gonzalez, 55 Marjorie Terrace. So just before I get to my public comment, just a point of order. First of all, if everyone on the dais, Mr. Luciano, if you could talk into your microphone, that would be very helpful so people could actually hear what people are saying. The microphone's sort of pointing at very willy-nilly. If we could have the names of the people who are presenting the departmental reports on the sheet, or someone speaking on their behalf, it would be helpful especially for people who don't come to meetings often, who may not recognize everyone's name. And finally, if everyone could stop talking over each other, that would be much appreciated from the fellow citizens and residents in the audience and people on the dais as well. Honestly, this might be come to meetings and it's very frustrating. I'm just going to say it right here. Just put it off. Okay? I'm talking, please don't talk. I want to speak over your presentation. So first of all, I'm glad to hear about the new communication system, and I hope if you could please maybe send, as part of this part of the communication, send a reminder email. Council meetings coming up. Here's the agenda. Here's the packet. That'd be very, very useful. I'd like to ask, why aren't there any pride flags up in town? It is June. We have members of the LGBTQ+ community in town. I would love to see their behalf, on behalf of people who are members of that community, support the Englewood Cliffs, just as many other towns have pride flags up. I think it would be a really nice thing for us to have as well, a wonderful way to show our support. I do hope the mayor and council members could please be checking your town emails, and do send emails, and I never ever get a reply back. I don't know if there's something wrong with emails, but I rarely get a reply or anything. So perhaps, I don't know if the email addresses are wrong, I just go right into the website and I click into that and get a link from here. So perhaps look into that and see if that's functioning, because when I send an email, I never get a reply. I'd like to ask once again if it would be possible to return to Zoom or hybrid meetings for people who can't make the meeting. I almost didn't make it to this one, I'm glad I did, but it would be useful for people who cannot make it to the meetings in person. And finally, and I'd asked Mayor Park about it last time, and I know I'm going to be joining the Shade Tree Commission, so perhaps I can find out more about it now. But you did sign the Monarch Butterfly Initiative, and I want to know what are the specific steps you're taking, because there are 5 listed as part of the initiative. But monarch butterflies are very, very particular, and they're getting to be endangered, and I'd like to know specifically what the town is doing for the monarch butterflies, because part of the pledge is take specific actions. So thank you very much, and my apologies to David for being a little short.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. And then next, please.
Sorry, when do we get answers to these questions? If we ask them, we can answer
Okay,
now. or-
Mr. Blair? Okay, end of it.
After everybody
Okay.
speaks.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Yeah, okay. Come on, please. Mr. Geiger? Yes.
Thank you. Martin Geiger, 270 Alfred Street. I would like to ask first that the administrator, the new administrator, put a report on the website. There was an awful lot that you said, and there was a lot to unpack there, to listen to it and take it all in. It'd be helpful if we could have the opportunity to review it. Particularly what you said about the $3 million and Congress, the President, if I recall correctly, the council, which at the time included residents of Luciano and Trubus 2 years ago, approved a sanitary sewer study of 9W because the connection with what was known as a TWA, there was concern that there was a leakage of rainwater into the sanitary sewer system. It's 2 years later. I have been requesting since January a copy of this report, and all I've gotten is a report that concerns all the other sewer lines in town. I've actually had, like Mr. Katrubis knows, we've had conversations about this, and I believe that you have a report. I don't understand why it's not public. We live in the same community, and we should know what this is. At the time, 2 years ago, when it was brought up, there was speculation from some council members that it cost us $10 million or $20 million to have to redo the entire sewer line on 9W. And so I would ask, if you're going to Congress, $3 million, you may want to take into account the costs, which could be much more than $3 million for the work on 9W. My recollection is, according to the Boswell engineering report, there was an estimate of $2.4 million to remediate the sewer lines everywhere but on 9W. It's January 2025 report. I'm sure many of you have seen it. I would also like to mention that Mayor Park last year signed over $14 million of debt instruments, most of which was for new money debt. And evidently he signed on May 28th additional debt, as the CFO reported. In connection with all of that debt, the law firm of Dakotas was the bond counsel. Why are you switching bond counsel tonight? Why is there a resolution to appoint Rugout McCarthy as the bond counsel firm? I'm sure on May 28th you probably had Dakotas. Why change horses in midstream? As a former bond attorney, it's a very bad idea to do that. It can only cost you more money for another firm to come in and have to review the earlier firm's work. So it doesn't make any sense to me why you would do that, particularly since Dakotas is considered a much finer bond counsel firm, according to all the ratings, than this Rugout McCarthy firm that you're considering hiring tonight. As for the CFO, I'm curious whether he's continuing to make his required monthly reports under the borough's cash management policy. If you're getting them by email, that's great, but I think it would be desirable to have those put online as well, so the community can get the sense of how our taxes are coming in and how our budget is faring for its concerning operations and so forth. Another matter I brought up before, if you all look at the borough website, you are advertising luxury apartments for 800 Sylvan Avenue's commercial project on the borough website. Are you not aware of that? You're putting up your you don't put ads for Plucker on the borough website. Why is there an ad, two pages, luxury apartments for 800 Sylvan? Look under the website, community, click on community, and it comes up. It's right after the advertisement about the library in Fort Lee opening. Correct that, please, unless you have a policy that you're advertising. I don't know. Finally, and I hesitate to bring it up again, but isn't there a concern that the borough either gave or lent money to these companies or to these experts on behalf of a private company? There's a constitutional provision. You also need to swear allegiance to the Constitution of the state when you take office that says you shall not lend or give money to a private corporation. And it's a great concern if you've actually paid the experts on behalf of a private developer, for whatever good reason there may have been, and there may have very good reason to induce them to do another project in town. I understand that, but that doesn't justify violating the Constitution of the state of New Jersey in the process. So I certainly hope that the borough attorney will take this matter quite seriously and try to rectify it. I don't know that you can, by borough council action, you can validate a violation of state law without special state legislation, but I hope that you'll do the right thing with it. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, please. Next.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Karen Geiger,
Karen Geiger, please come out.
A small thing, the helicopters. I noticed that they were thinking of landing a helicopter in the cliffs. I hope that it is not going to land on our new field. The turf can't take a helicopter, and we just spent millions aside, so give it a chance. 800 Sylvan, I'm going to echo what my husband said. We cannot advertise for profit. We just gave them $7 million. Why are we advertising their for-profit townhomes for rent on the borough website? This has been going on for over 2 months. I want to know, as a resident, I want to know who authorized it to go on the website. Nobody puts anything on the website, on the website. It has to be cleared by someone, either the borough administrator, not either but your predecessor, or a member of this mayor and council. And I want to know who did it. As far as the escrow accounts, my husband said it very clearly, and I'm going to reiterate it. I don't care what the intent is. We cannot lend the authority of our government to a private developer. It's very simple. The MLUL, I don't know what council you're reading, but if we have a process of requiring escrow accounts, which we do and have as long as I live in this town, which is a long time, you cannot have the monies be paid by the mayor and council instead of the developer through an escrow account. Mr. Luciano is correct on this, and it is reprehensible and opens us up to other developers and other homeowners not paying into escrow accounts, which is our standard practice. You can't do it, and whoever authorized this, they authorized it in legal action. Sorry, Councilor. You'll have to show me as a resident why this is okay. As far as other Silicon Valley, I'm sorry, Mr. Borough Administrator, I'm very sympathetic to computerized improvements, that as a resident, I'm concerned that our streets are paved, our garbage is picked up, our parks are maintained, our police are there, our fire department is there. I don't care that we have the latest and the greatest technology. I want the money to go to direct services that serve the residents, which now have problems in all aspects. And I see thousands upon thousands going into new technology. I've put in new technology in places. It doesn't work all the time. And it's certainly, if you're a part-time administrator, your focus should be on what matters most to residents, and technology is not it. As far as the employees that you're hiring, I noticed they all have a similarity. They all seem to come from Prospect Park. Why is that? Why is that? Where did you advertise all these positions that the best applicants, in all cases, laborers, clerks, all seem to come from where you were? And I want to know how, if we had a clerk, when we had Lizette Duffy, who worked through midnight at home, when we had Laura Borchers, she worked weekends. I want to know how a part-time clerk is going to do the job in Englewood. It's very nice to economize, but not where it really matters.
Time is over. Thank you. Okay, next please.
No answers.
I have an answer for you, Ms. Geiger, on that.
I'm sure you do.
Should I get to that now?
No, we want to all together, we're going to answer it a little later. Okay, yes. Mr. David DeGardio, come on.
David DiGregorio, 165 Charlotte Place, former council person, and very happy and content resident, and very content to be in the audience. I'd like to ask our new borough administrator, Mr. Chowdhury, what did you reference in the very beginning about this camera in the back? It sounded rather accusatory.
I didn't say any names. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to wait for you to finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the other question for you is, Click Media, $20,000 for a website. I looked them up on the internet. I got an Instagram, nothing, no information. It's an LLC. Who is, tell us about the company. Okay.
Are you finished? I mean,
You finish your 5 minutes, you finish it. You first, then he will answer.
The other thing is, I think it's a little inappropriate to have a mayor and council meeting on Juneteenth. This is a holiday. Post offices are closed. I think it's rather insensitive. We avoid other holidays. I think we should avoid this holiday. The public in Englewood Cliffs over the last 9 years has been through a rather traumatic experience. It started with the election of a mayor, Mayor Kranjak. It started also with a planning board chairman who turned down a corporate development about 800 sold. That planning board president was reappointed by this mayor, and that, I believe, was a mistake. I would like to see a resolution that would reduce the size of or the ratio of house to land. It's one of the reasons why we have severe flooding in town. I think that might go counter to the interests of some people on the planning board who have a financial interest in building the largest house possible. So I'd like that addressed, and I'd like to see a resolution in the future. We had a mayor that was wrapped in personal ideology instead of making decisions for the good of the town. We're still suffering. We had a campaign headed by one of the council people here that promised no high-density housing. It was a clear lie because it was the state that mandated that. We also have the councilman here who at one point gathered the townspeople together for what he called an ice cream rally for the children. It was really nice. It ended up as a demonstration in front of a councilperson's house.
Please, don't interrupt, please. Stop it. No, please.
And that character is not a very worthy character. We had a council person here also who had a website, englewoodcliffs.com. On that website, he trashed another council person. I saw his name when I told him it's your site, Mr. Kadrunas. He denied it.
Excuse me, time is over. Thank you. Okay, next. No, your time is over. Next, please. Next, please.
The quick media, make sure you answer that question.
Okay.
That's very important.
Yeah.
This camera,
Councilman, your time is
it
finished.
is hooked up to the Kremlin wire. That wire, I'm just kidding, it's not hooked up to the Kremlin. It is a power over Ethernet wire that is hooked up to the unit that's right over there.
Councilman, I'll answer you after we finish the public portion.
Thank you. Next, please. Okay. Yes, come on, please.
I'm speaking as a resident, not as the fire chief. Andrew Nick, 54 Elm Street. One of the things that I'd like to see this borough council do is, with all the new paved roads that we've had, one of the challenges we have is that whenever new development in the house comes in, there's a cut made in the street, and it's usually just a small little cut, directly to access utilities, whether it's sewer, gas, water. The town, I believe, has to issue a cut permit for the road. I'd like to see that whenever a new development comes in, instead of just patching the little area and it always winds up just turning to garbage after a little bit, that we require whoever's putting it in there to pave from curb to curb. That way it eliminates the little patch and makes it last a little longer, rather than just a little area that will eventually become a pothole, and then you have a brand new paved street with this little divot in there. I don't know if it's you guys, if it's the planning board, building department, whoever it is, but just something to consider, just to keep our nicely paved streets nicely paved. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, no one seeing, and no one hearing. I will close public portion. I need a motion and the second. Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you. You want to answer for them?
Yeah, I'll answer some of them, and then, the council wants to jump in, or our municipal attorney. So, Chief Ecal, thank you for your comments. I'll start with your comments on the, what I believe you're referring to as a road opening ordinance. The municipality is looking into that. We had a discussion with our municipal engineer and our Department of Public Works. Typically, what you're referring to is a moratorium policy. Typically, that's listed inside the ordinance. We did identify areas that we need to address because the majority of the roads being ripped up, freshly paved roads, or whatever work is being done is the utilities. So there are a couple sample ordinances that we're looking at from surrounding communities, and we'll be in discussion with them. We welcome you as well in your capacity as chief of the fire department to be a part of those conversations.
Okay.
But you can still listen in. As far as my apologies while I flip to my notes.
Councilman D. Gregorio. Thank you for your comments as well. I know. Mr. DiGregorio. I want to address your first comment, and it kind of will go with Ms. Geiger, yours as well. Earlier in the discussion, I hear that there's a lot of issues with the current website. The website is a place of where we're supposed to access information in essentially 2 clicks or less. There's a lot of studies of user experiences that talk about the frustrations, especially with municipal information, in order to digest that information, but also get access to it, which we're trying to resolve. I mean, this website, MediaClick LLC, and I'm more than happy if there's an OPA request submitted, we'll be able to supply the information and the backup and all these other materials. But to answer your question about MediaClick, they are a website vendor. They have a ton of clients. The reason I'm proposing and I'm recommending them is because the other vendors that we have, where we did solicit and do the proper procurement process to research multiple vendors that can meet our needs, the one-size-fits-all approach is not conducive to the environment of Borough of Englewood Cliffs. A lot of these companies, they sell all kinds of bells and whistles, but we want to be able to design it to meet the needs of what many of the residents come to our council meetings and complain about in terms of the information of our website. Some of the things in my encounters with Town Web right now, our current provider is not meeting that. They can't adjust certain things. They can't track certain data, what people are looking for. So MediaClick, I have a scope of work. I do have their proposal in full, and they were able to meet essentially the needs of what we wanted to do and design it according to what we want in terms of having a portal for all of our forms and not just making them online fillable, but making them compatible with other third-party vendors, some of which listed on this agenda as well. And it's $20,000 this year, and then every year it's going to be $3,000. And that's the home run. It's just to build it out and to redesign it. Just the first year cost, and every single year after that is $3,000, which is a huge home run comparatively to what we would pay with Civic Plus and everything else. And we get all the bells and whistles, and we get to control it on our terms. That is what we're trying to do in terms of access to information. We're talking about resident empowerment and transparency. From what I understand, the Geigers are very passionate about that. We are trying to do that as well. I'm sorry? Let me finish my comments, and then we'll get to that. So this is just the process of soliciting and getting the vendor, right? This is not the kickoff designing phase. We haven't done anything to the site yet. So it's about who can essentially do it in multiple phases in terms of what to be provided to our community in terms of the finished product. What that finished product looks like, it's still subject to interpretation. When we meet with our technology committee, we'll take it from there. So I'm going to move on to your comments, Ms. Geiger. As far as the helicopter, I think Councilman Katrubis, I'm not sure if you wanted to add to that. But from what I understand in my walkthrough with the chief of police, the helicopter is not going to land on the turf field. The landing zone right now currently, and that is exactly why that ball field right next to it, which is a grass field, is currently. I'm just sharing you the information.
I was a member of the Parks Committee. I was there.
Ms. Geiger, I have the floor. I understand.
Because you're not using it appropriately. Is the helicopter going to
Ms. Geiger, the public session is closed, and I'm just trying to. I'm just sharing. You asked a question. Where did the information and essentially where the landing is, and that's what I'm providing you that information.
Not to have it land there because it will do damage.
Public session is over. Please come to Borough office tomorrow and then talk to him. Yeah, okay. We have to move on.
Ms. Geiger, we can have a conversation off that one-on-one as well. I'm open to meeting with you.
We have to save time, and then please stop it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Bill was supposed to be used for. Right. Well, that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay, we're gonna move on next item.
So I just want to expand on a couple of other things. And Ms. Geiger just said before, she's one of the heaviest users of opioids. I think at the beginning of the year, between her and her spouse, they put in 150 opioids. It's not ridiculous, Marty, it's true. 150 opioids, folks. I just want you to think about that. Wrap your mind.
Again, is that anything that comes out of your mouth is a lie?
Why are you?
You have a psychological problem.
Please, we have to move on. And please stop it, and then call to the person or come to the borough hall. Please stop, everybody.
This is the type of misinformation that you have to deal with people who have anger management problems.
Please, stop it.
I can't continue now, Mayor. 150 Oprahs, we know that that's true. There's emails out there, you know that it's true.
Okay, everybody knows about it.
Let's just say,
That's different from 150.
okay, so look,
Provide the
may I please,
information on the
may-
website.
Okay, point of order. Okay.
The public really needs to understand this, Mayor, it's very important, okay? When you have, I want everyone to wrap their minds around having to go through this process. You get it, you have to collect the information, redact the emails, show it to the attorney. These things cost tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and they take up people's time, right?
And they're required by state law.
Nobody said that they
And also
weren't.
to pay now.
But if we have the technology to deal with it, okay, and at the same time, you brought up something important about the part-time clerk. Well, a lot of these Oprahs, people have been abusing this Oprah process throughout the years. Whether they were using this for their own discovery, so they can proceed with their own litigation, whatever the case may be. That's the reason people were working all these hours. Now that all this is finished, we no longer have that problem anymore. So I think that the public should be very thankful that we were able to solve these problems and that we're able now to actually cut the costs because it affects the taxpayer. So, I appreciate what you're saying, Ms. Geiger, but fundamentally or operationally, I just don't believe that you have the expertise to guide us with those type of things. Yeah, really, I really do, especially when it comes to technology. We're more than happy, excuse me, David, the public session is over, it's my turn to speak, okay? And we're doing whatever we can to try to make things as efficient as possible. And another thing too, in terms of this, I appreciate your patience.
Luciano, why don't you have to drag your feet so much?
Okay, everybody, stop it. Please stop it. Everybody stop it. And then call him directly or call to her. We are public session and we have to move on. We have to spend all night tonight here also. I don't worry about it, really. This is not efficient, procedure. Let's move on. Please, stop everybody. Okay, please. You already did, okay? You did it. You would spend how many time? How many minutes you gonna spend more? How many minutes?
Less than the time you're stopping me.
Let's move on.
Website, who maintains?
Okay, ask him tomorrow, okay, please.
The website's definitely the problem. It's definitely the problem.
Who maintains it?
I don't know.
Who's gonna, I think part of the problem we have now is the maintaining of the website. So if we're gonna go to a new website, if they have the same bells and whistles, we're gonna run into that roadblock or that V in the road of, we got the system to here. If we don't have someone to maintain it, what the heck is the difference? So my question is, and I don't wanna take up too much time, is, and let me just ask two questions. Who's gonna maintain the website, because that seems to be the bigger problem. We talk about staffing, okay? We took 2 people out of Borough Hall and moved them down to the DPW. One of them got praised like they were the best Oprah assistant ever, okay? Now he's down in the DPW. So How are we using our staffing efficiently to assist? We got rid of, we let go of the borough clerk. Now we're gonna hire a part-time one, where we had a full-time one previously all the time, they couldn't meet the office. We hired an assistant that for whatever reason, we don't want them in the borough hall anymore. So now we have them down at the DPW, and I don't think they're assisting with Oprah's anymore. The assistant, the other BA that we had, wrote him up as he was the best assistant ever. If he's the best assistant ever with Oprah's, and we're still having issues with Oprah's, why in anybody's name would we move them down to the DPW to not assist with Oprah's? Those are the two questions that I have. Thank you.
So the first thing is, we don't have any issues with Oprah's at this point, to my knowledge.
I have two outstanding for months.
I'll look into it, Councilman, on those two outstanding requests. Please reach out to me.
Two outstanding
Yeah.
for months.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
thank you. Let's move on next, please. Okay, let's move on. Tonight, we don't have a, please stop it. Please stop, everybody. Please stop it. Okay. Now we're gonna move on presentations. Okay, BA, would you introduce this? I don't know. Okay. Which?
We have to start from 99 and then go back to the appointments.
Yeah. Okay. Finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a motion?
I need a motion for the.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Resolution 2599.
2599 to accept donation over the historic Linwood Spa mural depicting the George Washington Bridge from the Junakos family. I need a, okay. Who did the motion? Who did the second? Okay. All in favor? Okay. Thank for this donation.
We basically received basically last month from the Janukas family, and that was placed on the council meeting agenda for May. Sorry, my apologies, Councilman. And basically, what the purpose was is that they shared the donation letter that they wish to donate artwork to the municipality depicting the George Washington Bridge that was hung in their family business for a long time. Unfortunately, Ms. Janukas couldn't join us today. She lives out of state, but we will be mailing a copy of the certificate of appreciation, and we thank her for her contributions. And she'll also be sending us the art over as well. It'll be in Borough Hall somewhere. The resolution outlines that the administration will work it out amongst the staff to where to place it in Borough Hall.
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, I only seen a picture of it, but I don't know the size and the length of it. But we do appreciate it. Her family has been a part of the community for a long time, and we once again we thank her for her contributions. But we just needed to follow the protocol of introducing it as a communication correspondence and then passing it via resolution this council meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the generous donation. I really appreciate it. And let's move on next. And what is the next agenda is, and now we are so confused here.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Yep, right.
Okay. 25-100 resolution appointing Miss Beauty Nadine as part-time municipal clerk, and the rest of the vital statistics for the Borough of Englewood Cliffs. I need the motion first and the second, then I will take the discussion. Okay, I need the motion.
Motion.
Yeah, okay, second. Okay. Any discussion? Okay.
I noticed on the website, this was published on the 10th. I believe it asked for responses by the 13th. And I also believe on the website, you pay for a month. So I'm just a little concerned that you say we want to look for the best person with the position that will fill it. And I just don't understand how we sent it on the 9th, I believe. The 10th it was published, and we want responses by the 13th. I don't believe that that's adequate time to field responses for the best person for this position. And that just concerns me. I mean, we only had, I believe, in the conversation that we had, one person from Prospect Park who's going to be part-time, and then two other people that aren't certified, a registrar, and one of them applied for the registrar. But it just is bothersome to me that now we have, I mean, I know that, I think it's by statute that when we appoint a clerk, it's a 3-year appointment. So how does this council feel that we've had adequate time to field resumes for the best person qualified for this? I mean, we have someone that said to us that he was amply qualified to fill in, did the election. I think that we're being a little too aggressive to fill this position just to say we have someone in the position, and not necessarily the best person to fit Englewood Cliffs in that position. So, I
She
mean,
hasn't worked in 2 years, right?
No, she's assisted.
No, she's assisted other municipal clerks elsewhere. It's just not listed in the resume.
From what I understand
From what I understand when I spoke to her.
well, I think, I'll make a motion to table this because I just
There's
don't think-
There's already a motion right now on the floor that you can't.
Supersedes a motion on the floor and it cuts off discussion. As long as it
Okay,
gets a
okay, okay, got it. Okay,
Roll call on the motion.
local, yes, local, please.
It's right.
Should roll call on the motion to table?
You got a first and a second?
We're having a roll call now.
Okay, roll call. Okay, roll call.
yes.
Yes, vote would be to table it, a no vote would be
Okay,
not.
this is on the
Okay,
motion.
this is on the motion to table resolution 25-100.
There was a
motion by Councilman Luciano, seconded by Councilwoman Jermones. Councilwoman Jermones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilman Luciano?
Okay.
Okay.
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilwoman Begats?
No.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang?
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel?
No. Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis?
The motion dies.
The motion dies.
Okay, then, thank you, and Mr. BA, please, roll call, please.
Yeah,
motion to the 25-100.
On the motion.
On the motion for resolution number 25-100,
We already.
Yep, on roll call, Councilwoman Jermones?
Councilman Luciano.
Councilman Luciano?
No, for the reasons I stated.
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilwoman Begats?
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang?
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel?
Yes. Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis?
The motion passes.
The motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 25-101, resolution appointing Intashan Chowdhury as a Chief Fund Commissioner. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
101.
Second.
101.
25-101, I make a motion.
Okay, second. Okay, second. And any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? No? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Mr. PA.
On roll call, Councilwoman Jermones?
Councilman Luciano.
Councilman Luciano?
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilwoman Begats?
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang?
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel?
Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis?
The motion passes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. And we will move on 25-105, resolution appointing Emmanuel Castillo as part-time laborer for the Englewood Cliffs Department of Public Works. I need the motion and the second.
Motion.
Okay. Any discussion?
No,
25-105.
no, we're on 105. DBW.
Okay, no discussion, the roll call, please.
Councilwoman
Jermones?
Councilman Luciano.
Councilman Luciano?
Councilman Begats.
Councilman Begats?
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang?
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel?
Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis?
Mayor, the motion passes.
Mayor, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
No, sorry, I forgot to do it. The next one is right here.
No, it's on the main agenda.
No, it's on the main agenda. The individual is Edrin Deva. It's on the public copy in the.
That's just down the outline.
That's just down the outline.
25-106.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, we can do it.
106. It just had a.
106, I already have this one, is already we did.
No, right here. Yeah, that was just a clerical error. That's the outline for the outline is a mistake. The actual public copy on your desk, it has 106. You're looking at the outline.
Sullivan's 104, actually.
You look at the actual. 106 is resolution appointing Edwin Della as part-time labor for the Englewood Cliffs Department of Public Works.
Motion, please. Okay. Any discussion? No, and roll call, please.
Councilwoman Jerome. Councilman Luciano. Councilwoman Begats. Councilman Liang. Councilman Patel.
Yes.
Councilman Katrubis.
Yes, and I just want to say that this is just another
The motion passed.
reason that we're fulfilling our promises to the public of beefing out our infrastructure. And I welcome these people aboard, and I wish them well.
Can I just, so are those people, I was under the impression those are seasonal hires. Those are people that were hired full-time, part-time?
They're indefinitely they're hired part-time to assist with the park mainly, and as well as during the week, our DPW superintendent needs the additional help.
You were hiring these part-time people just?
No, not just for the park. Not just for the park. They're during the week as well. But as we need it during the week. There's limited time hours that they have, and then the hourly rate is listed also in the resolution.
I think, once again, this is really not right. Okay, because every year around this time, we hire people for seasonal help in the summer. That's what I thought these people were, even though I'm voting yes. I voted yes, but that's total misinformation now. Now you're saying that we're
It's
the park. Who's going to maintain the park? What's going to happen with recreation? Now all of a sudden we're sliding it in as, we're going to hire these people for the DPW, but mainly now what you said is they're going to be for the park and they're going to assist with the DPW. I think it should be the other way around. And why are we hiring them only part-time? I mean, this is unbelievable.
The DPW takes care of the park. What's the difference? I mean, they're helping out with what's needed. What's needed at this point is the park.
So, but their primary job should be DPW. That's what it says.
It says.
That's not what it said.
Laborer for DPW.
In the weekend, they take care of the park.
Yeah.
They're
only part-time. They're only part-time.
They're gonna work how many hours?
So the max are doing for everything total for their week. They're up to 25 hours.
So how many hours are they gonna do on the weekend?
That's subject to the scheduling of Mark Neville. So Mark Neville.
Let's just make the assumption, so, Rivka, you can go all you want. But this is
like small thing.
Just say, we hire them for the DPW, but no one has knowledge that, you know what, we're really sliding.
Councilman, the agenda was sent out on Friday. We can't change it.
Let's move on next item.
The clerk will know your negative vote on those items, Councilman. Thank you.
Next. I switch from the next on the agenda, I'm appointing the following members to Shade Tree Commission. This doesn't need any council vote to the board of ordinance. Proceed to read the names below.
Once as alluded by the mayor, this is a notice of the mayoral appointments to the Shade Tree Commission. It does not require council consent pursuant to the borough ordinance. So we're just going to read the name into the records. Mapna Shah, committee chair.
Excuse me, let me interrupt. There is no committee chair. The committee chair will be appointed by the members of the Shade Tree.
Okay, all right. For the record, let's mark that. Mamta Shah, Wendy Alvarado, Ziar Jaladi, Tai Ho Lee, Dr. Emma T.K. Guest Gonzalez, and previously appointed is Councilman Philip Liang, who serves as a council liaison.
Okay, next item is next on the agenda is I need a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes for the following follow meeting, May 8, 2025 special meeting, May 14, 2025 regular meeting, May 14 executive closed session meeting. After motion and the second is made as, okay, I need a motion and second.
I need a motion.
I need a motion.
Second.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay. This one we need, this just, we don't need a discussion, right? This one.
Just roll call, right?
Just roll call, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Just
okay, just the approval. We need a roll
On roll
call.
call, yep, on roll call, Councilwoman Drones.
On roll call,
On
Councilwoman
roll call,
Drones.
Councilwoman Drones.
I am going to abstain because I think these executive session minutes were released to people that should not have gotten them. Executive session minutes supposed to be to the council, but I saw on the email that went to everybody, all the department heads and everybody, I'm going to abstain.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilman Luciano.
I never received them, so I can vote on it.
Okay. Next.
Councilwoman Begats.
Yes.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right,
thank
motion
you.
passes.
Next on the agenda is our 2025 municipal budget items. Okay, budgeting is 2025-01. I did motion, and the second to introduce this ordinance 2025-01. The 25, the index.
He's on the
topic of the 25 ordinance number 2025-01, the index rate ordinance.
Roll call, please. Motion. Okay, motion. On the second. Okay. Roll call, please. Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to make some comments. During the past couple of weeks and months, our CFO and our finance committee teams work very closely. And we come to this point, I'd like to see if possible, give us some high level, because a lot of people pay attention to the this year's budget. If the CFO can give us just a 1 minute kind of overview. See,
More than a minute. You want me to explain the ordinance first also?
Just quick, sure.
So this ordinance is passed each year. Within the budget, you have line items that are subject to a limit that's instituted by the state. That limit is 2.5%. You are permitted to increase that limit to 3.5% by doing this ordinance. And in most cases, sometimes some years you do need it, some years you don't need it. Years you don't need it, you get to bank it. So this budget is utilizing some cap bank that was available to you from 2023 and the 1% additional that you are passing this year. So with those two things combined, your budget would be within the municipal appropriations cap. And you won't have to seek any special permissions from the state. That's the summary of the ordinance for the cap bank. This budget summary, this budget is 20. This budget is $23,491,701, which is approximately $2,077,000 over last year's budget of $21.4 million. Percentage-wise, that's about 9.7%. The second most important item that Mayor and Council like to look at is the tax levy. The tax levy is kept the same, and last year it was the same as the year before. So we are basically maintaining this $16,336,000 municipal levy since 2023.
Congratulations. It's not easy at this point.
In 2022, that levy was $16,836,000. And so going from 22 to 23, you'll remember there was a big discussion about cutting the legal line, and that's where we went from 16,836 to 16,336, and we have been maintaining that since then. How did we accomplish that? Because this year we did have a lot of new appropriation line items. Just the Sylvan Avenue judgment and tax appeal is adding $1,149,000 to this budget. That's in addition to all the other increases like health benefits, pension, salaries and wages, garbage and trash collection. The only item where you actually have a reduction is your operating departments. It's about $281,000, and bulk of it is attributable to legal services line. This year we're deciding to lower the legal budget compared to what you had last year, because obviously, or hopefully, we will not have the litigations to the same extent as in the prior years. Capital Improvement Fund was also reduced by $200,000 to balance the budget. The primary reason behind that was with the accumulated capital improvement fund of $300,000 left at the end of the year, plus $100,000 in this year's budget, you should be able to take about $4 million of capital improvement, which is basically what we have averaged in the last few years. When you have enough money to do the capital projects, your reserve for tax appeal, you're sitting at about a little over $1 million at the end of the year. So that appropriation was cut from $700,000 to $200,000. In addition, on the revenue side, we are using a little bit more than what we used in surplus last year. We are using $3.9 million to balance this budget. The year before, in 2024, we used $2,450,000. And just before we jump to conclusion on the surplus, at the end of the year, we had our surplus was approximately $6.3 million. And the way to estimate or decide if you are using the right amount of surplus is, are you generating the same amount that you're using? So in 2024, we used $2,450,000, and in 2024, we generated just under $3 million. So we generated about $550,000 more than what we used. Going forward, yes, we are using more in surplus than we should be using, but it's a difficult budget year because of Sylvan Avenue litigation alone. Will you generate the full $3.9 million? Likely not, but you will generate close to $2.5 million, which is what your average has been in the last year. So we are doing no tax increase this year, but we should plan ourselves for a tax increase in the future years, or reduction in appropriations.
Thank you very much. So a couple of key takeaways. Number one, from a government perspective, from our sector, is zero increases, right? 0% increase. You talk about the school, talk about the state and the county. That's of course. Second one is the document, the number go through the government process already, right? Yeah. So they're comfortable with that. And from an internal interview, department interview, everything you finished already. So now is the time to introduce.
Yes.
At this moment. And we're running, the June, mid of the year already.
Yes.
So we need to do.
We need to introduce.
That's right. Yes. Okay.
So I just want to touch base on one more item. So on the tax levy, even though your tax levy is the same as last year, each year your rateable base grows. So this year your rateable base grew by 0.62%, which in dollar amounts is about $22 million. So what that means is even though you're keeping the tax levy flat, your residential taxes or your average taxes will actually see a slight reduction. In this case, your average assessed house of approximately $1,363,000 will see their taxes go down from $6,257 to $6,219, a reduction of about $38.
Thank you very much.
Okay. The remaining balance is a surplus at the end. I apologize if you already answered it, but I just want to be clear.
So with the 6.3 that you have at the end of the year, minus the 3.9, right now, not factoring in what you will generate this year, you have a balance of $2.4 million.
You're saying we might not even replenish that amount.
Well, this year is not done yet, so we won't know that number until the end of this year. My estimate is you will generate in between $2 to $2.5 million, will put you closer to the $5 million mark at the end of the year. So next year, you cannot anticipate $3.9 million, you'll be back to more like $2.5 million.
Right, that's what I'm meaning.
Right.
So all that, I mean, the bottom line is next year, you're not, because of, you're not gonna replenish what you're taking out, you're not gonna get replenished.
You'll likely not replenish the full amount.
Right, even though we're taking the tax rate as steady, what's the appropriations? You mentioned also in 2023, I believe, that we kept the appropriations that we met. But if I recollect correctly, I think we had a special emergency and emergency situation that year, so there's no way that we kept the original appropriations because we had special emergencies that we had to add to that budget. So it's disingenuous to say that we kept the appropriations even because we had at least two emergency appropriations that year, which inflate the tax, so we haven't held it. The other first point I'd like to make is that on our appropriations line, spending is going up. No matter how you look at it. So we might pat ourselves on the back and say, hey, you know what? But just like we're leading down that path right now. Next year, we're not going to be able to use the same amount of maybe you can get your mallet ready, but next year, you're not going to have the same reserve because we're overextending what we're taking out of reserve right now. We're not going to replenish it. Next year, you're going to be hit with a tax. All we're doing is kicking the can down the road. If we look at appropriation, you might say, great job. No, we're not doing a great job because our appropriation line is going up and up and up. We're doing nothing to control spending.
That's not true. That's not true. We're doing a lot to control spending.
Councilman, we're trying to do what, if you look at the numbers, okay, the numbers don't lie.
I can tell you.
Just like our CFO is saying right now. You know what? He's being polite saying, you're going to have a tax increase in the future, because you know what? Next year, after we took $3.5 million out this year, you're only going to be able to take at the most 2.5. So all I'm going to say is, you can disagree with me, sir. Look at your appropriations, the total appropriation line, before interest, before debt, and look at what you spent. Look at your salary line this year. Look how much it's gone up.
The salary line is going down.
Oh, yeah.
The salary line is going down.
Okay.
Technology is going down.
Okay.
And also, I'd like to add something else that's important. First of all, I want to thank you, Philip, Mr. Chair. I think you did. I know that you worked very hard, working with everyone, especially the Finance Committee. But maybe the borough administrator can also speak on what's happening with how we're setting up grants for the future, because that's something that we have not done for the past 10 years. And because we are setting this up for the future, it means that more money will be coming in. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and if you could just fill in just a little bit on something like that. I know it takes time, folks, to get these things under control, but we're taking the appropriate measures to cut our costs. We've done what we can to make sure that there's no impact to the taxpayer. I know that all the professionals, the rates have come in significantly if you compare them to previous years. So we are taking the appropriate measures, but please, Intishon, correct me if I'm wrong and speak on what's going on with the grants, because that's a very important part of the budget line, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you for that overview, Councilman. We are, as I said, a part of our third party of auditing all of our third-party vendors. We have identified significant opportunities, and we are in communication, the administration with the CFO, line by line, to actually address opportunities to save some costs. To Councilman Katrubis' points, technology is going down because you just, earlier in my report, I talked about it. Just desk phones alone, $70,000 over the course of 36 months, because we're paying monthly $3,500 on our phone, our desk phones and our wireless phones. These are just small wins that we're generating along the way. We're just following now the proper procurement process in order to secure these wins. Secondly, in terms of the concept of grants, yes, we have a relationship right now with our grant writer where we're researching actively, and they're providing us a lot of services, but they're also doing it in a flex model. So they're doing a lot more for us with respect to the costs to our taxpayers. And as you can see tonight on tonight's agenda meeting, we're submitting for 4 grant applications, and we're utilizing our department heads. We've seen a couple grant awards that we're accepting, but basically we're kind of having that collaborative effort with our department heads in order to be more aggressive in pursuing grants. So we're identifying them, and we're targeting them, and we're utilizing our relationships with our representatives to offer letters of support. That is why we were able to actually go a little bit of a step further with the Appropriations Committee, where we were able to get $3 million for essentially moving on in stage 2 into the Appropriations Committee for the request that we made to Senator Kim's office. This is just, it's not just taking an application and submitting it. It's also just about our process and our approach. And our staff has been doing a tremendous job working with our department heads to kind of align with the goals and the vision of the mayor and council. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And really our CFO and the PA and our financial committee, they did a great job, and still this year we can continue zero budget increase. Okay, we need already motion to read it, right?
Yeah, we need a vote.
And then so we need a roll call, please.
No, we already got the motion. Councilman Liang, seconded by Councilman Luciano.
Okay, roll call, please.
On roll call, Councilwoman Dramones.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilwoman Begats.
Yes.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis.
Okay, thank you.
Ordinance 2025-01, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for calendar year 2025, NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
Thank you, Mr. PA. I need a motion and second to authorize the municipal clerk to advertise for public hearing on July 22nd, 2025, regular council meeting. Roll call, please.
Motion to advertise.
Motion to introduce.
Motion to advertise.
I need a motion and second.
It should actually say motion to introduce the calendar year 2025.
No, we
already read the introduction. We did that. Now we have to advertise it for public hearing.
We already did it.
No.
We're doing the cap bank ordinance first. So the cap bank ordinance goes before the introduction of the resolution. So we're motioning to read the introduction of the ordinance of cap bank. Then we're motioning and to introduce and authorize.
That's coming very next.
That's coming very next. The introduction of the budget is coming right after that.
No, for the cap ordinance, you introduce the ordinance, and you're doing a separate motion for the publication and public hearing?
Yeah.
Do we, making sure, I can say in the right, do we need some legal opinion? Okay.
We're going to have a public hearing on the budget. When is that going to occur?
That is with the cap bank ordinance that align at the same day with the same meeting. That was my communication with the members of the governing body in email when I sent everything out originally on Friday, last Friday, when I told everybody that we need a 30-day window. That's why we scheduled it for July 22nd, and I had an update pertaining to some conflicts. I was in consistent communication with members of the governing body to let them know what was going on. But the budget hearing, the cap bank hearing, as well as the entire agenda itself is being moved to July 22nd to meet the 30-day statute.
Okay, that's proper. We have a motion to introduce and to have a public hearing on the budget and the cap bank on July 22, 2025. Authorize the advertisement.
CFO, you're okay?
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
I didn't get the motion second.
Motion.
Motion is, okay. Roll call, please.
This is to
advertise ordinance 2000, to authorize the municipal clerk to advertise for public hearing for the ordinance 2025-01 on July 22nd, 2025.
See, just as a clarification, I think what's confusing is, in the past, when you introduce an ordinance, part of the ordinance introduction requires you to publish it and have a public
That's what we're
hearing.
doing. That's what we're doing. That's the motion, sir. Yeah.
We haven't done this separately in the past. I think that's what the confusion
Yeah.
is, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Why is it three separate and two separate?
It's a little bit more proper to have a motion second to introduce and authorize the clerk to go ahead and issue this public notice regarding the public hearing on the cap bank ordinance. On roll call, Councilwoman Dramones.
Councilman Luciano,
Councilman Luciano, no. Councilwoman Begats.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman
Patel.
Yes.
Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis.
Motion passes.
The motion passes.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion and second to approve resolution 25-107, introducing the 2025 municipal budget. Okay, I need a motion.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, this is resolution.
This is resolution 25-107.
On roll call.
Councilwoman Dramones.
Councilman Luciano,
Councilman Luciano, no. Councilwoman Begats?
Councilman Liang,
Councilman Liang?
Councilman Patel,
Councilman Patel?
Yes.
Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis?
The motion passes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. And next on the agenda, we have an introduction of ordinance. I need a motion and a second to introduce ordinance 2025-01, the creation of a film advisory committee ordinance. Roll call, please. Motion and second. I'm sorry.
It's the Film
It's the Film Advisory Committee ordinance.
Is to create
an ordinance establishing the creation of the Film Advisory Committee ordinance. This was brought to our attention by, I believe, someone from one of our residents that expressed concern and ability to offer assistance by creating a committee to address our film permits that we do, that's subject to the state. The clerk's office does it in order to improve it, as well as other ways to improve attraction for filming and things of that nature. So with that being said, the mayor and I believe the mayor and the legal counsel worked to create this ordinance, the Film Advisory Committee, in order to appoint members to it.
What is the purpose of?
To assist in.
Looking to bring people to come film and all that? Looking to have, to make sure that we have an ordinance set to make sure that if people come to film, that they do the right thing.
Yeah, it's a permitting
process. It's all that. It's the whole permitting process. The committee is going to come together, and then they're going to assist them, essentially advise on their free will as part of the committee to assist the municipality in perfecting our film permit process.
Does the resident who came to the mayor have anything to do with the filming?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, I believe so. That's in their background. They're heavily involved in, from what I.
The person that came to the mayor that pushed this for a film advisory committee is someone that's affiliated with the film industry.
As in they previously worked in the film industry. They don't work anymore. They have experience with what's going to take with the permit.
Okay, I need a motion. A second. I need a second. Okay, roll call, please.
On roll call.
Councilwoman Jermons.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilwoman
Begats. Councilman Liang. Councilman Patel. Councilman Katrubis. The motion passes.
Okay, would you be able to read about the ordinance 2025-02 by title?
Yeah, sure. The ordinance number 2025-02, an ordinance amending Chapter 4 of the Borough Code entitled General Licensing and specifically adding a section creating a film advisory committee.
Thank you. And Mr. P.I., I need a motion and second to authorize the municipal clerk to advise for public hearing on July 22nd, 25 regular council meeting. Roll call, please. Yes.
So we already know that the first reading is going to include changing and codifying this, even though we haven't seen
the ordinance was supplied.
The ordinance was supplied. I'm right.
It's going to pass, and we're going to.
No, that's not. Councilman, please. First off, the agenda copies, and because this is the reason I'm answering this, because for the residents out there, after the election day, we got to work and we immediately sent out the agenda items, and we were working on it. By Friday last week, the agenda copies went out, and then 2-3 days ago, before my trip, I stayed to Borough Hall till 11 p.m. and I sent all backup documentations, which include the ordinance. So we provided the copy of the ordinance. Now this motion is to authorize the municipal clerk to let the public know that's in the audience that we're going to have a public hearing on this ordinance to come out and talk about it. It's not adoption. It's to essentially tell them that they can come out here and speak about it before a vote to be adopted. The second reading. That is what we're advertising. The second reading will take place on July 22nd. It's a procedural.
Yeah, I think you're missing my question. It's not a matter of what we're informing the public. My point being is that usually, unless you guys already know, that this ordinance, for whatever reason, what happens if the ordinance fails? And now we've already spent money for codification.
You have to advertise it. You have to have it advertised to have a second reading.
Listen clearly to what I'm saying. You introduce the first one, right, for the committee, right, for the introduction of the ordinance for the film.
Councilman, then it gets crossed out.
Then it
goes.
spending money to advertise for something that if the ordinance fails, we just wasted.
No, we didn't
No, we didn't advertise it before. We're just authorizing it now.
The second part is to
Where do
codify.
you
Where do you read that to the second part?
General license, especially adding section
No,
three.
That's just the title of the ordinance. That's the title of the ordinance that we're reading into the record that will be just further looked in at the next meeting. I have to read it by title into the record. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying that it's passed. Yeah, the first part. After I read it procedurally into the record for the public, then there's going to be a motion second to authorize the clerk to advertise it. All I'm doing is reading the record. I'm not saying it's not being passed, it's not being adopted. I just want to clarify that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I need a
roll call.
I had a motion by Councilwoman Begats, and I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
roll call, please.
On roll call, Councilwoman Jamones.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
Councilman
Okay.
Kutruvis.
Councilman Kutruvis.
Okay,
Yes, and I want to thank you very much for all the hard work that you
yeah.
Okay, PA, would you
Okay,
read
PA, would you
the
read the
motion?
ordinance amending chapter 4 of the Borough of Code entitled General Licensing?
We need a
We need a motion and second to introduce the ordinance number 2025-03. That's the next item.
Next item? Okay.
Unless there was other.
Okay, I need motion and second to introduce ordinance 2025-01, the underground parking ordinance.
03.
03.
Okay, 03.
Yep.
Okay.
Motion?
Second.
Motion second by Councilman Liang.
All right.
All right.
I need to,
Can we have some discussion on this, please? Just,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, okay.
ask some questions?
Are we doing this, discussing with the building departments and the engineers and architects? Are we trying to raise the heights for the building?
It's going to the planning board, and if anybody wants to do any discussion,
Right.
come to the planning board,
Okay.
okay? And then you can raise anything that you want, the height, the width, whatever you want. The planning board, there's no
Yeah, so-
daycare.
Yeah, so the second reading, I want to answer that question. That's why, and I said it again in my email, that's why the public hearing, if adopted, for the authorization for the public hearing, would be 2 months out to allow that time for the planning board to review it, to offer any recommendations if there needed to be, and then amendments could be recommended or looked into further, or the ordinance could get totally scrapped together, but basically, we're just introducing the ordinance, and then it needs to, and it can be discussed here a little bit further, but it needs to go to the planning board in order to be consistent with the master plan, correct, Mr. Attorney?
That's correct. Councilman's question though is in this, since I haven't read it fully, is there a change to the height limitations? No, okay, so my second point is that what I did read in this is that it seems like it's a ordinance to appease some people that has no teeth in it. Because reading the ordinance, it clearly says that the only way that these people would be required to not build a garage subterranean is if it's designated by FEMA as a hazard area. There's not one hazard area in this town by FEMA.
That's why,
So what are you
that's
gonna,
why,
can I finish, please, ma'am?
yeah,
Just
come to
one
the
second.
planning board.
I mean, we're putting it, I love the ordinance, for the prospect, but to me, if I came in here as a builder and said, your ordinance says, we need to take that section out, because if it says, the only thing we can do is stop them is if it's in a hazard area designated by FEMA, and I do believe there's another little catchphrase that's probably unconstitutional, because it's so vague, you couldn't really enforce it. It says, unless there's other something deemed to be a hazard. I believe that's what I read. To me, I might as well go to my fireplace and burn $20 bills. Because any builder's gonna come in and be like, you know what? I looked at the FEMA map intently today. There's not one spot except down on the Hudson in the park that's designated possible. And on the backside by the park in Englewood, there's not a hazard area by FEMA in all of our town. So please, I agree that the introduction, if we're gonna wait 2 months, please take that section out. I don't know who wrote this ordinance, where we copied it from, but to me, it's useless. Because anybody that comes here, besides maybe paying their fees, being sarcastic, but if anybody would just come in, if it was me, I'd have my lawyer be like, you know what? We don't have a designated FEMA hazard area. I'm building a garage under my building. So I agree with the intent of it. I've always agreed with the intent of it. I think some of these people that I see complaining, we need to look at their permeable surfaces, because a lot of these people and addresses that I see complaining about our water issues are significantly over the 80% coverage, and they're contributing to the problem. But, sir, I don't know, Mr. Ferrer, if you wrote this ordinance, but please review it and have it taken out before we go out for a final hearing, because to have something like that is ridiculous.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I need, would you read about ordinance 20?
We just need there was a motion by Councilwoman Begats, second by Councilman Liang. There was a discussion, now we need to have a vote.
Okay, roll call.
On roll call, Councilwoman Jamones? This is to motion to read the introduction of ordinance number 2025-03.
Okay.
Okay.
Luciano.
Councilman Luciano. Okay.
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel.
Abstain. Abstain.
Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis.
Yes.
Mayor, I believe
we might need your vote.
Yes. Okay, yes.
Motion passes.
The motion passes.
Okay, would you read ordinance 25-3?
Ordinance number 2025-03, an ordinance amending chapter 30 of the Borough Code entitled zoning and specifically prohibiting the construction of subsurface car garages due to flooding risk.
Thank you.
Then this ordinance needs to be sent to the planning board for a consistency review.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you, Mr. PA. I need a motion and second to authorize the municipal clerk to advertise for public hearing on August 13, 2025, regular council meeting.
Roll call, please.
Roll call, please.
We need a motion
I
second.
need a motion.
Oh, I need a motion, okay.
I need a motion.
I need a motion.
This is to introduce
and authorize the municipal clerk to advertise for public hearing on August 13, 2025 for ordinance 2025-03.
Make a motion.
Motion by Councilman
Motion by Councilman Liang.
In a second, I need this. Who second?
This is to
second to authorize the clerk to advertise.
What's the number?
Ordinance number
2025-03, a motion to advertise.
With respect to that, I think part of the problem is, just if you may entertain me, Clerk, when we usually introduce an ordinance, it encapsulates with one vote the hearing. And maybe you've done it differently, but maybe it turns out, usually when we say on the first part, we're going to introduce an ordinance to change this, it's automatically incurred in the advertisement that the hearing's going to take. We never need to change.
Right, the motion can be that we move to introduce it at first reading and direct that it be advertised according to law, all within one motion. We can do that in the future. I'll work with you on that, Deshaun.
Either way, it just seems like it's an extra vote.
Okay. All right, let's go. We have a second on that then?
Okay, roll call, please.
On roll call, Councilwoman Jamones.
Councilman
Known by Councilman Luciano. Councilwoman Begats. Councilwoman Begats.
Yes.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
Councilman Katrubis.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have consent agenda resolutions. Mr. PA, please read into the record the title of each resolutions.
Do you want me to proceed, Mayor?
Do you want me to proceed, Mayor?
Yes.
All right.
On the items of the consent agenda, we have Resolution 25-108, resolution authorizing the borough to contract with Suel Ahmed, MD, and All Health Medical Group to perform annual physicals, pre-employment physicals, and fitness for duty examinations for the borough. 25-109, resolution.
We're going to finish already.
Our point of order is that our bylaws specifically state that if a member of the council requests that the consent agenda be voted on independently, that we vote on them individually. I don't appreciate that you're just gonna continue, and I don't mean it towards you, Mr. Pierre, because the mayor's directing you. Because sometimes we follow bylaws and Robert's rules of order, and other times we don't. But I'm requesting specifically that we read them and we take a vote on each individual one as stated in our bylaws. Thank you.
Mayor, is that okay? Your lawyer gonna to check it out the regulation. Okay, just a second.
He's checking the bylaws until the Councilman's General said.
He doesn't have the capacity to check the bylaws, Mr. Mayor. So can we just,
Okay, this is a too many resolution, and okay, why don't you table it and vote it
Well,
and
let me just go through them. Are there any in particular that you agree to go through as a consent, or no?
Well, I have questions, like, I don't understand, first off, why we're changing something. I mean, some of these were already appointed at the reorganization. Why are we going through it again? Unless you didn't do your due diligence and do them at the reorganization. It's June now, 6 months later, but I just think I think it's irresponsible of us to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I'm not going to stop counting there, things on the consent agenda. I think it's just irresponsible of us as elected officials to put this all together and not have a discussion on each individual. But, hey, it's your circus, so that's just not, I'm just following the procedure that we have established in our bylaws.
Proceed.
So when you start individually,
Bob said proceed.
even the each individual.
Okay,
yeah, going.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
you said,
Okay, yeah, each individual item, yes.
read it into the record?
Yes.
All of them?
Read all of them.
All right, so
You can take 108 to 114, I'm gonna vote no on all of them, but if you want to keep those together, I just don't think it's appropriate to put all these things in a consent agenda. You know what the public has a perception of us and your comments, that we want to get here and get the heck out of here as quick as possible.
Listen,
That's
what's
irresponsible.
there? It's only their fees. What's there? Just for you to talk?
Right,
I mean, tell me, what's wrong with that?
so resolutions.
No, there is on their website, and you got it there, okay?
So resolutions 25, 108 to 25, 114 as a group consent item, can we have a motion to approve those?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Is there discussion on any of them?
Any discussion?
Tell me why we're redoing these. All these people have been done previously during the year.
Number one was not done before the year. Number two was not done.
No, there's no changes.
No, there's no changes. Number one is not a, that's, number one, 108 is not, the borough, if you, my earlier report, I said we don't have proper onboarding process. Don't mix it up with the police surgeons that are hired, that are on call for live duties. No, there was no record according to what I was told and with the information that I have. We did not have anything here. So this is a borough business. We got a proposal. I went out and looked. We have All Health Medical Group right here in Englewood Cliffs, and we're going with the borough business, and they're right here in town to do annual physicals for the police department. They do it annually as per their collective bargaining agreement, and then they perform pre-employment physicals for any new employees as well, because we don't have any note of that. That's part of our employee handbook that we're trying to update.
Okay, so on 108, 114, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a vote, please?
Who was the motion?
Who was the motion by, I'm sorry?
Motion.
Councilman Patel.
Okay, Councilman Patel, all right.
Second by
the Gats, all right.
Okay,
Okay, on roll call, Councilwoman Jerome?
Yes, but no on 109.
Okay.
Okay.
Just bear with me.
Just bear with me so I can just take my notes. All right. Councilman Luciano votes no on all. Councilwoman Begats?
Councilman Liang?
Councilman Liang?
Councilman Patel?
Councilman Patel?
Councilman Katrubis?
Councilman Katrubis?
Yes, and I want to thank all our professionals for working with us to lowering our rates, bringing significant savings to the taxpayer.
That's like the time.
Thank you very much.
What about the increase that's going to happen with our bond council that was identified to us? We'll deal with that.
Consent agenda items 25, 115, resolution rescinding resolution 25-78, and authorizing a request for proposals for municipal tax mapping. Resolution 25-116. Councilman, can I just finish reading first and then I'll...
Okay, we will read it and then you can...
I can tell you what that was, Councilman. So it was originally awarded to Neglia, but we want to do it under an RFP. So we're going to get a request from everyone for that and select what we determined to be the best.
So, as my understanding, I thought he started it.
No, he was a holdover, Councilman.
Wait, no. Don't confuse the appointment with someone that's already been...
Oh, no, he didn't do any tax mapping, no. He did not. 100%. He's been doing MS4, the report and the stormwater report. He's 20% done with the stormwater report and the 80% done with the MS4 report.
I'm sorry, Councilman Luciano. So from 215 to where can we go next?
115.
115?
From 115 to what's next?
118.
Through 118, okay. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Liang.
Roll call, please.
And that's like...
I know that the town, and myself included, there's a smoke test. There's been, like right here, we're supposed to spend $86,000, and I think I did see some details today that was given to me, but I want to see those tests. I want to see this administration distribute those reports to the public. I want to see the reports, and I think they should be distributed. We've had Mr. Silver, I believe his name is, who's been asking for 2 years. We paid, Mr. Sterling, if we paid, and now we have something that we're saying we need to spend $86,000, the public should be made aware that they've been going nuts about the sewers. First off, I'm requesting for myself, I'd like to see the Neglia report, because I know he was doing some sanitary sewers.
Stormwater.
Whatever
He's not
reports
finished.
that-
He's not finished.
The people, whatever reports that we have, I would like to have a copy of.
Sure.
That's what I have. Thank
I
you.
requested two weeks ago.
Do we have a motion on
We have a
these?
motion by Councilman Liang, second.
Okay, roll call.
Second by who, I'm sorry?
Begats, okay.
Begats, okay.
On roll call.
On roll call. One second. Councilwoman Jerons?
Yes, except 116.
No. All right. No by Councilman Luciano. Councilwoman Begats?
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang?
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel?
Yes.
Councilman Kajubis?
Yes, and I think that this is going to bring a lot more savings to the taxpayers as well. And I thank you very much to the borough administrator and the attorney.
Any objection for 25, 119 through, I'll ask you, Councilman.
Clarification on Councilman Katrubis's comment, you mean on the previous vote that we took is going to save us money, or what, the next vote?
I think the previous vote.
Vote is saving money.
Councilman Luciano on 25, 119. Can you give me a number that you have no issue with?
I mean, you can do them all, the only thing I have a copy, but entertaining with a comment, I think, I went and looked at this today, and I'm just a little concerned about let's see, 121, I'd like to know where our administrator has, with what kind of relationship he has with this polymorphic, only because, beautiful picture, but when I go to their website, the first picture that I see is a picture of you. So it makes me a little concerned that there's some kind of, don't mean it disrespectfully, but if there's any type of relationship that you have with this company, it doesn't seem very, it doesn't sit well, taste well in my mouth, that it seems as though this is being put forward by our administrator.
No.
When I go and look up their website.
I will.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Giant smile.
Councilman,
no, Councilman, I am not getting anything. It's in all records you can find. Polymorphic could even actually disclose it to you. That's not the case. In fact, the reason why they promoted me or whatever the case is because we were the first town to use them, and since then a third of New Jersey communities have been using them, including Bergen County, Middlesex County, and then some for the AI search and chat voice feature. I can get you the full list, but they're just I kind of fitted it the way they're starting to use it in other communities because of their ship.
Well, you didn't ask me.
And I sent the. My job was to.
Information like this comes out, when I see like what I got the other day.
And Councilman,
you can.
I look and see polymorphic, like I said, I'm an Indian. I go and just.
And Councilman,
you can.
At the end of the
email I wrote, please call me if you have any questions or contact me directly. I'm on my phone and I've answered and I've tried reaching out to you as well. So I'm accessible. You can call me. Like, do you have anything to Sean? Please let us know, and I'd be more than happy to answer you and provide any supporting documents, sir.
I'd like to say one thing too, you know, this contract was reduced significantly.
It was reduced
significantly.
You negotiated, right, yes.
Significantly.
The original quote from.
Polymorphic.
Oh, okay, because we have another company right now that doesn't seem like we have any problem.
Polymorphic
is AI search and chat voice. They're completely. We don't have a service for that at all. Like we don't have nothing.
This is additional.
Service.
And just for context purposes,
with one of the proposals for the website, with everything that you see on the agenda, Councilman Luciano, today, and for the members of the public, everything together is still cheaper than a well-known vendor, Civic Plus, that is not even including a search and chat and all these features. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'd also like to add that what people are failing to understand. It's okay, I understand that you don't have the type of experience, but when you implement technology like this, it's equivalent to hiring an individual, right? Or two possibly, that's going to be doing the work, clerical work, and pointing people in the right direction. And you no longer, you're completely removing human error out of the equation, and time and money that's wasted. A lot of different things.
You can use chat.
It's a little different than that.
Yes, it is. Councilman, please.
On resolution 25-119 through resolution 25-140, we have a motion, please.
It was 119.
It was 119 to, I'm sorry, 140? 140?
No, 119 to
140, yeah, to the end.
140.
Can we stop at?
No, it was through 127.
Yeah, 127. Yeah, 127, right, yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, motion and 123 to 140.
No, what? No, what? 127.
He was asking questions from the technology sections that started at 119, so we have to start 119.
Okay, through 139, and resolutions 25-119 through 25-139.
Need a motion?
You need a motion?
I need a motion, yes. We need a motion.
Can I request to do it up to 127?
I have a question on 127. It says here we're going to authorize, resolution authorizing the summer camp policies and procedures.
That was attached.
in your email. That whole section, the whole packet.
I provided
all the backups, and I said and explained it.
I haven't read it, so I'm not going to vote on it, but has everybody read them and okay with policies and procedures? Because once you vote on them, that's their policy and procedures.
So you can put that.
Yeah, that was the
parent handbook and everything.
Let's put together, just say that.
I believe
that we said that we're subject to following GIF, MEL, and whatever the state guidelines as well. It's more so for the parent handbook and then the code of conduct for a lot of our campers.
That's part of our.
He said the policy and procedure was disseminated to me. I friendly said I didn't read it, so I'm assuming that some of you have read it. So I want to understand, is the policy and procedures contain a section that has something to do with fingerprinting? And why are we accepting policy and procedure without fingerprinting the staff that have to work with our...
Because the GIF, Councilman,
About our children, you can never...
Councilman, may I have the floor, Mayor?
You should take the one extra step, that's all.
Councilman, let me just quickly answer. So there's a couple things, right? There's the employee handbook and procedures and what we're trying to work with the GIF and the MEL, and that includes pre-employment practices that you're alluding to. We've begun with it today, and thank you for the support of the council that voted on it to address onboarding process for pre-employment physicals and things of that nature. Part of it, we're working closely with the police department for a process for our employees, not just recreation, but just employees in general that include these processes. So that's what we're doing, because they're separate. This is the policies and procedures for our parents, the code of conduct for our camp counselors and our municipal staff, our staff that's hired for the summer camp. So it's really just the rules and regulations that they have to follow.
The GIF procedures.
The GIF procedures. Yeah.
The record that it is in there, and then when we look at it and it's not, then we come back and raise it.
The GIF has reviewed it, and they signed off on it, we forwarded it to them. We sent the email to our risk management consultant and the GIF. They reviewed it, they looked at it according to MEL and GIF practices, were part of the South Bergen GIF, and they said, no issue, please proceed. And so that is what we did.
If you want to make those rules more stringent than their policies, there's nothing to stop. Just like state law. They give you a state law. If you want to make it more strict than what the policy or the parameters that they set for you, I'm sorry, so hold on. You can make them stronger. So I hear what you're saying, but when we're talking about our children, we should go one step, not just because Chip says, oh, you don't necessarily need it. That's not what we're going to say when God forbid something happens.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, may I have a question?
Okay.
Where were you asking these questions the past 3 years when summer camp?
It was never there.
Where were you the past 3 years while summer camp was going on?
No procedure.
I did ask questions.
I don't think so.
There was no
Why wasn't anything done about it then? If it's so important, why? You had control of the council, why'd you do anything?
That's why.
So now we're doing something, so can we please stop?
I think
Stop asking if fingerprints on the...
Continue, we are not talking about it, okay? Please stop it. Okay, please, both side, please.
Resolution 25-119 through Resolution 25-139. Can we have a motion?
We need a motion.
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Okay, roll call, please.
All right, give me 1 second. All right.
On roll call.
On roll call for resolutions 119 to 139, Councilwoman Jamones?
No on 140.
140.
No, just 139.
No, just 139. I think that's what Bob said.
Okay, 139, okay.
Okay.
Let me just mark that.
Let me just mark that, please, Councilwoman. You said 119.
121.
121.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Councilman Luciano?
Councilman Luciano?
No to all except I recuse,
Green abstain?
Green abstain?
You abstain?
You abstain? Okay.
133.
Okay, recuse. Recuse. 133.
Just 128.
All right.
All right.
Then we have
Councilwoman Begats.
Yes.
Okay. Councilman Liang?
Councilman Liang?
Yes, well,
Councilman Patel?
Councilman Patel?
Yes, except 25-128 to 135 I abstain.
You said 120.
You said 125.
128 to
25-128 to 25-135. Abstains.
Oh, yeah, he abstains.
Oh,
on
yeah,
all
he
that.
abstains on all that. Okay, got it.
understand.
I got it. I understand. Okay. Abstain. Patel.
And then
Councilman Katrubis.
yes.
All right.
All right.
The motion passes.
The motion passes.
Thank you.
Now we have 25-140.
Okay.
We have a motion on that,
We need a motion, 140.
authorizing the payment of the vouchers.
Second.
Okay, sir.
Is there a discussion?
Motion.
Yeah, I sent a few things to everybody, which I was told on, but, I asked for certain things to be removed. I have an invoice here from Concord Municipal Consulting, which I asked for their contract, which I don't believe I got today. But, for any business, I don't know if any of you have looked at this invoice, any business that puts a week's worth of billing and lists 5/12 to 5/18, 3.7 hours, 75, call borough administrator, doesn't list what timing, not anything. Call the mayor Clark, developed onboarding agenda, Zoom meeting with IC and stuff. I think this is woefully inadequate. I don't know how anybody, I don't know how the CFO then get by to say, as a matter of fact, we just got it this week and it's already on the bill list. I guess that's what happens when you're the so-called other borough administrator. But I think that this is lacking. I'd like to see the contract, because it amazes me that for whatever reason, we're paying mileage still. I mean, we have a very well-talented administrator right now. Why are we still using another borough administrator at $109 an hour?
I can answer that.
I mean, okay, when I'm done, please do. I mean, I guess, please answer, since you're gonna answer, if you feel that this invoice, as a business owner, an entrepreneur, is adequate to you when you would pay that bill if it was sent to your house. Because to me, I wouldn't pay that bill.
Should I answer?
Yes.
So, first of all, he's not being paid as a borough administrator, he's being paid as a consultant.
Yeah, but he's acting as a borough administrator, so go ahead, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Again, that's not accurate, he's acting as a consultant, that's what he's acting as. I don't understand how it's difficult to determine the difference between the two. Let me move past that. The second thing is, this gentleman worked very hard for us while he was here. He left because he was a continuous harassment, behavior. So, it is true, and the reality is,
We need to continue. We need
he was driven
continuity.
out. He's no longer here.
Driven
We
out.
have brand.
Let me just finish. He was driven out. We worked very, very hard to bring in another talented administrator. And what we did was we hired him as a consultant so he can help backfill any of the gaps. It only makes common sense to do something like that, to make sure a lot of things don't slip through the cracks. We're dealing with affordable housing deadlines, we're dealing with a lot of different deadlines.
Grants.
Construction, and there.
When is he here, Tim?
It doesn't matter when he's here.
Doesn't matter, he does the job. He does the job. What job?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You see this, Glenn? This is a sizable agenda. And honestly, a lot of work was put in putting this together. Thank you very much, sir. I want to thank all the members of the council who worked very hard. I want to thank you, Shuaib, who also worked very hard. And no thanks to the people who did everything in their power, including you, Glenn, including you, Mr. Mose, including you, sir, Mr. Di Gregorio, who tried to tear this entire process down. And I hate to say it, Karen, because I respect you a lot. You too, Marty, but you're also part of this part where you're trying to tear people down. Listen, you're the ones. Listen, you're the ones who are coming to you're coming.
Stop talking about that.
Okay.
Please, no pain.
So please stop here.
Free speech and public interest.
You will allow him a second job in that role.
Please stop it. Everybody stop and let's move on, okay?
This is a different council.
Okay, motion for what?
Nobody wanted you here.
Okay, 140? Okay, I need a motion 25-4, 140. Please, Councilwoman, please stop it. 140. 25-4. 25-140. Please start it. I need a motion to 140. Okay, second.
We have a motion for 140. We have a motion by Councilman Patel, second by Councilwoman Begats. The discussion took place. Councilman, you asked the question.
Roll call, please.
For what? For what?
We are voting for it.
Things that I've requested.
No, it's not.
Tabling this one?
Motion to table.
Wait, we have a motion.
Wait, we have a motion to table the bill.
Okay, roll call, please.
Wait. He did the.
So we have a motion.
So we have a motion to table.
Roll call on this motion.
Yep.
On roll call,
On roll call, Councilwoman Jamones.
Councilman
Luciano.
Councilman Begats.
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman
Councilman Katrubis.
No.
Okay,
No.
let's have a motion then.
Yeah,
Let's have a vote on the 25.
Motion to approve resolution number 25-140. Councilwoman Jamones.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilman Luciano.
Councilwoman
Councilwoman Begats.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
Councilman Katrubis.
okay, okay.
Mr. Liang had a.
Okay. Any new business? Okay, yes.
You have a motion and a second on the floor.
No. Okay, Mr. Liang has a new business.
Okay, roll call.
All right. So there is a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting. Do we have a second?
Okay.
Councilman, please let me call the vote. Councilwoman Jamones. Councilman Luciano. Councilwoman Begats.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Liang.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Patel.
Councilman Katrubis.
Councilman Katrubis.
Motion dies.
The motion dies.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So we have a new business. I'm going to introduce a new resolution, can you help?
Yep.
Yep.
The
Councilman Liang is proposing to introduce resolution number 25-141, resolution ratifying the payment of certain bills for professional services rendered to the planning board.
I will read it into the
But
record.
I will also distribute a copy to each member of the governing body. Just pass that around first before I read it. Councilwoman Jamones. Councilman Luciano. Yeah, there's attachment on there. For Exhibit A. Mayor Park. Bob Ferraro. And then, we have everybody, and then the mayor. Okay. Councilman, can I read the whereas clauses, please? All right, Councilwoman. I'm gonna read it into the record.
Okay, please.
All right.
You have to read this one.
I'm going to read the resolution into the record for members of the public and for the governing body. Whereas the borough has been presented with a number of invoices for professional services rendered to the planning board in connection with the application of 910 to 940 Sylvan Avenue, and whereas as escrow was not collected for the payment of said invoices, and whereas the invoices were paid without proper bill payment authorization by the borough, and whereas the paid invoices are set forth on Exhibit A attached hereto and made a part of hereof, and whereas the borough acknowledges the need to collect the amounts paid from the applicant. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and borough council of the borough of Englewood Cliffs, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey hereby ratifies all the payments shown in Exhibit A attached hereto and directs the borough attorney to pursue the payment amount from the planning board applicant. That is a resolution.
I need a motion. Motion and second, then I will give you a discussion. Okay. Motion. Second. Who's going to?
I'm just writing down. Who seconded? I'm sorry? Second by Councilman Patel.
Discussion.
Yes, sir.
Does this use the law by doing this, because I know we didn't get a legal yes.
No, sir. It's not, it's not,
Can I know that we asked a written legal opinion, because we'd like to use that when it goes to the court. But I don't believe that doing a resolution to ratify an illegal action nullifies the illegal action. And I'd just like to understand on the record, in your opinion, does this nullify an illegal action?
it's not an illegal action, sir.
Okay.
So leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Please, sir.
On roll call for council, on resolution 25-141. Councilwoman Dramones. Councilman Luciano. Councilwoman Begats. Councilman Liang. Councilman Patel. Councilman Contribus.
Motion to
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn. And a second.
Table the adjournment? No, I'm just kidding.
I need a second.
I'm sorry, who motioned? For the adjournment?
Mayor motion.
No, I need a motion and who?
Motion Begats.
All in favor?
Seconded by Councilman Patel. All in favor?
Okay.
The motion is adjourned at 9:58 PM.
Thank you, everyone. Really hardworking.
Thank you.